From downtown, this is Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam, and you're listening to NintenDomain Podcast. Boom shakalaka!
This week in NintenDomain, there are so many Switch 2 sales. There's so little time or space on your Switch 2 to get them all.
I can't lie, I'm pining for the mines.
I got wrecked.
Oh, that sounded like something else there.
Rectum, barely knew him.
Yeah, something like that. Welcome to NintenDomain Podcast, episode 478. Your place to hear Nintendo fans still talking about the Switch 2. Various sales and games and game movies and whatever, that sort of thing. We're here. We're your hosts. I'm Trey, likes to play Switch 1 games instead of Switch 2 games on Switch 2, Johnson.
I'm Jeremy, class of 80X, Mikowski.
I'm John, Goat President Knitter.
The president ate all the vegetables.
All the cans.
And the cans and the shoes.
I think we need to call in a goat president. That would probably help us in our time.
Tom Brady?
Our time of need. The football player? Is he a goat president? I don't know.
Greatest of all time, goat.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyone it's a sports thing.
No, I understand what it means. But why Tom Brady? Why would you pull in
Sorry, LeBron James.
Or some random... I think Tom Brady's kind of
Wayne Gretzky
now.
You're naming people who would all be better than the current guy.
Sure.
Dave Thomas from the Wendy's commercials.
I think he's dead.
Still better.
We all like an American cheeseburger.
Wendy, the picture of Wendy from the
an old-fashioned cheeseburger.
A dustpan. There you go. A tree branch, anything. Let's start off the show as we normally do and talk about games that we got and games that we've been playing. You guys are still playing your Switch 2s, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. It's about all I play anymore. Actually, it is all I play anymore.
Yeah. I finally got to the mirror stuff on Mario Kart World. Has anybody done that yet?
No, I still haven't completely figured it out. I've gotten gold in all the 150. I mean, that's a couple weeks old now. And then I did at least place in all of the tours.
Yeah.
Now I need to get some coins, I guess.
Now you have to get 10 of everything in the free roam. So you need at least 10 P-Switch missions.
I have 30 something of those.
And, yeah, me too. And you need like 10 of those question block things or whatever that you drive over that you get a sticker for. And you need 10 Peach medallions.
That's what those are for? Do they just give you a sticker?
Everything just gives you a sticker. That's the way this game works. You don't get anything. I thought it
opened up a path somewhere or something.
Oh, I mean, to me, I just drove over it and it's like, you got a sticker. It's like,
yeah.
Cool.
Something stuck to your tire.
And when you look at the map and you go from area to area, it only shows like how many question blocks you got. It won't show. I mean, it'll show you like the amount of P-switches that you did, but it doesn't say like how many per area. It's stupid.
Right.
It's a little puzzling.
It's like
It's the blue coins of this game.
Or it doesn't. It is totally the blue coins of this game, and it doesn't really tell you like how many. Well, it'll tell you how many Peach medallions you got, but it won't tell you if you got them all in one area or not. So.
I will say I've noticed like they're kind of more of a gray color when you've already completed them, because there's been a couple times where I've like thought I found a new one, but it was one I already did.
Oh, the P-switches?
Yeah.
Yeah, the P-switches are gray if you've already done them. At least there's that. But I mean, it would be nice if they said like there's 10 in this area and you found 8 or something like that. Like
some kind of hint rather than driving out in the wild looking for 100 or whatever.
There's 300. I think there's like 360 of them. Or something like
it's funny that they released that.
It's the Korok series of this game.
Yeah, but they released that at the same time as they released this Zelda app, which actually does things right and like gives you some kind of hint of where all this sort of.
So maybe they'll add that eventually.
There'll be
a companion app, and it can also serve as a rearview mirror.
There's 389 P switches, and
that's too many.
And there's 164 Peach medallions. So there you go.
How many
no hint
question marks are there?
I don't know. It doesn't show that on here. This is the
Well, I need to know.
This is like the fan-made app that I'm looking at right now that somebody made that actually shows like where all the P switches
Apparently
are.
not a fan of question mark blocks.
Well, I mean the game. I guess the game. Well, I guess you can figure it out, right? Because there's like 30. There's like 30 courses, and there's 5. There's like what 5 question blocks per course. So there's like what 150 probably.
How do you know that there's 5 per course?
I looked at the map in the game.
Oh, okay.
Because the only thing it shows is the question blocks. That's the only thing it'll show that you've
Okay,
collected.
so
That
that's
you've collected
why.
in each
That's why.
level. I think it's 5 per one. I mean, I don't know.
Sorry,
If there's-
fan app maker. I take it back.
I don't know if. I mean, well, it would be nice if they put that on there also. But
Yeah, do it.
the thing is free, you know. Oh wait, no, there it is. Yeah, no, it's right. It says right there, 150 question mark panels. I got it right. And there's 108 restaurants. There's 108 Yoshi restaurants in the game. I didn't even know that.
I would have thought there were more.
Yeah.
To be honest, as many as I see, but that's a lot.
I think it's just like the drive-throughs with Yoshi in it, because you can get food elsewhere, like through trucks and stuff. Like it doesn't just have to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did. Jess and I we finished the knockout tours. We only got gold on one of them, on one of the 150s. You know, we
It's
just
tough.
made it to the end and all of them. You know,
Same.
and that's all you have to do. So I went back, and you basically have to go back to the final Grand Prix again once you've done that and you've collected all the things. You go back to the final Grand Prix, and then you play that on 150cc, and you get gold on that again, and then you get a cute little cutscene, which I'm not going to spoil it for you, but
I have to get 150cc gold again on Special Cup.
yeah, just the final one, and you get a different animation, and there's a really cute cutscene. And I was like, this is like the only cutscene in the whole game that has like any sort of like story to it, and it's just right here for this. So I was like, okay, I won't spoil it because you guys should both get there, and it made me
More like cute scene.
I chuckled at it because it was, you know, it's funny. It's a couple seconds long, but it's funny. And
It better be longer than a couple seconds. I paid $80 for this game,
but then you get all the mirror courses, and the mirror courses are for everything. They're for all the Grand
including
Prix,
the open worlds.
and they are for all the knockout tour. I think you actually have to unlock it in the open world, where you go through.
That's where you drive through the mirror or whatever.
Yeah, you drive through the peach, the stained glass peach window.
I can't find that.
Which is not. It's in the place right before Rainbow Road, wherever that is on the map.
Okay.
Because you know how like you go up that like spiral
Right.
like ramp, you go right past it.
Okay.
But in the cutscene, like there's a little star that goes into the.
Hey, I thought you weren't going to spoil anything.
Well, I'm not going to spoil the part involving characters, but it basically like shows that as part of it, so it kind of hints that that's how you would do it.
That makes sense.
But you can do mirror mode of knockout tour and Grand Prix and all that stuff. And we played. I played the first Grand Prix by myself when I got gold and 3 stars on that, which I haven't got gold on 3 stars on anything, so it's fine. And then we played like a couple of the other ones today too, and we got golds but no stars. I think we did the one with Boo Cinema in it, and then we did the second one and got those.
I did get the vampire Waluigi.
Vampire.
Yeah, I literally just was on the open world. I just went to Boo Cinema, and there's a Yoshi restaurant right before the starting line.
Get yourself some popcorn and turn into Vampire Waluigi. I have all of the outfits for Waluigi now. The one I was missing was the mariachi Waluigi, where you get a giant sombrero.
Oh yeah, I don't have that one.
So we've been looking at them, and we got the final 2 Yoshis too, because Jess was trying to collect all the Yoshis. And I think the 2 we were missing was the blue Yoshi and the red Yoshi. But they're all like different, they're all like different occupations. Like it's not just like different colored Yoshi. So the blue Yoshi is the biker Yoshi, and the red Yoshi is the pro racer Yoshi.
Okay.
If you're keeping track of all the different Yoshis. But yeah, we got all those. And then
is Boshi in there?
Well, I mean, I guess you could say the biker is Boshi. You could say it in your own mind. Just pretend that he has glasses and say that's Boshi. Because he's blue and he's wearing a biker jacket. He looks like a tough guy. Whatever. But we got all those, and we were working on getting. I was just getting Mario's outfits because I never race as Mario, so I was getting those. But Yeah, I don't know. Whenever you're in free roam mode, whenever you find food, just switch to a different character and just keep doing it over and over again, and you'll get all the different outfits for that. Oh yeah, and we got the coin purse and the bat too today. So
cool.
So there you go. I think we still need the wrench guy, which I really want.
You did get the conch bird?
I got Conch-Door, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I tried really hard for Conch-Door. We have Conch-Door now. But we got Swoop, which was like, oh, cool, the bat. And I got the coin thing, like while I was doing the mirror stuff. The coin pouch.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Yeah, but there's a lot of levels where there's like where the Caribou shoe is in there. Like the Goombas and the shoes jumping around.
I like that.
And I was like, why can't that be a racer? Or why can't Goomba have an outfit that's the shoe? Like, why does Goomba have new...
I would say a Caribou shoe would be pretty cool. Like, that's a car.
Or it could be a car, but it's even funnier if it's like a Goomba in a shoe that's also in a car. That's somehow driving a car.
Because there's Goombas in ice skates in... Was it in Super Mario 3D World, or was it just in the Bowser's?
Oh, I bet it's in Super Mario 3D World. I bet it is.
But that would be cool, too.
Yeah.
Like, just put them in different types of shoes. Like, the Goomba looks great in shoes.
Yeah, but I mean, that's still like, more to like, why doesn't all the other creatures have like? It's weird because like Goomba has
the high heel from Mario Maker. That was cool.
Or like Goomba has like no outfits, but the Koopa Trooper or whatever has like 5 outfits. Why? Yeah. But then a bunch of the other Bowser guys don't. It's like
it doesn't make sense.
It's their whole outfit choice thing is real bizarre. I don't understand. And Lakitu has like 4 outfits. How come he got outfits but Goomba don't get outfits? Like, what's up? He could at least have a shoe, like one shoe. I'm just saying.
These are DLC opportunities.
Yeah,
the other shoe needs to drop already.
Free ones, not charged ones. We already paid enough on this. But that's what.
I paid $80 for this game.
I guess. We only paid $50 because we got the deal or whatever with the system. But speaking of that, I got an email from Nintendo finally offering me my Switch.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
are you gonna get it?
No, I don't know. I don't know anybody. I don't know of anybody who wants one.
I don't either.
Like most people I know that
really want it. They got it by now.
Yeah, all the people that I knew wanted one got one. Even like Caroline and Robert got one already. So it's like,
oh, nice.
One of Robert's kids got it for him for Father's Day. But it's like
good Father's Day present.
New favorite child.
Yeah. But it's like I don't know of anybody who actually wants one. But it's funny that it's like the 1st of July. Like I said that it was going to be past June before I got an invite to buy a Switch 2, and I was right. So there you go. July 1st, I get my invite to buy a Switch 2.
I checked my email right after I saw that, and I still haven't.
Yeah.
That's why they got a hold of me.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you said they
like you more.
Said you were interested. Here you go. Almost a month later, but here you go. But we had Jess and I we took a break from Mario Kart World because we were playing Super Mario Wonder. We played Super Mario Wonder for a whole week to get through it, and we did, and we beat it. We completely beat it.
So did you start over again, or did you just kind of continue where you already were?
We started over again. We started from the beginning.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
We tried to play from where we were, but we just haven't played it for so long that we had no idea what the fuck was going on. So it was a
pretty complicated story.
Well, we had some drinks too, but also it was just like, I don't know where to go. We're like in the middle of a level. Like, I don't remember what we're supposed to do. Let's just start at the beginning. So that's the way we did. I
think it's cooler you start from the beginning, just to, you're seated in its best fidelity probably from the beginning.
Yeah, we just started all over again because we were almost done with it. Like, we had like 1 level left or something, when we were beating it. Like,
is that one of the games that got an official boost or no?
Nope.
Which is really strange because that game does have a great art style. That's strange that they didn't give that an official boost.
I don't recall people really complaining about it. Like, I think it ran fine.
Well, so did 3D World and Mario U, but those got like updates or whatever. Well, I guess they got like game share or whatever. And isn't it like 3D World has HDR, but like Bowser's Fury doesn't, or something like that? There's some weird stuff with that.
Wow.
But I don't know.
Way to snub the Fury.
Yeah, there's weird shit about it. But yeah, it's like Wonder didn't get any updates, but it looks fine. Like I don't know. I thought it ran fine. I thought it looked fine. I liked it a little bit better this time around. But it's still we still think it's kind of like C-list Mario game.
It's got kind of like no identity. Like it does in its art style, I guess you could say, but like because everything that they bring up as these like, the really cool like touch fuzzy get dizzy moments are in every level. So it just kind of like all becomes like a wash after a while, and you kind of remember your favorite 2 or 3. But
yeah, and it also it's like, they have these different things for every level, but it also feels a little bit the same because you're always looking for the seed thing, and you're always looking for, like there's not. I feel like there could maybe be a little bit more variety in it. And I said many a times, like the bosses suck. It's just Bowser Jr. over and over again, or sometimes not at all. Sometimes they just give you a royal seed and that's it. And it's just, some of it just feels unfinished, I guess. Like some of the, like I expect. And the whole thing with the airships and no boss at the end of that, I always had a problem with that too. Where you just have the conveyor belt where you hit one button and it's done and that's it. It's
like who's flying that thing,
Yeah, like give us something. Like it's, you get the pipe at the end, like you think from like Mario 3, and there's no boom boom or bam bam or whatever there. It's like, it's just a fucking conveyor belt. And it's always the same.
It's just
I don't know.
pebbles.
It's just, it was just, everything was like too samey, and I don't know. The final Bowser stuff was fun. Like I did like that. Like the level before Bowser, like the Knuckle Duster or whatever it's called, like that level's cool. Where they basically kind of give you like a greatest hits of stuff. Like throwing at you, and there are a couple other music levels aside from the first Piranha one. It's just there could have been more for sure, and also the levels are over really, really quickly. Like the levels are all like 2-minute levels or whatever. I feel like everything's like it's like, oh, and you're this, and then it's done, and it's everything's just like, next. It was a good start. I feel like that they could do more with it though.
More than anything, and we probably said it at the time, but it's just a rebranding of New Super Mario Bros. They give it a new art style, but like it's kind of more of the same in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely needed a new art style, and I'm not, I think it looks nice, and I like the animations and all that.
And that was the first one that had the new voice actors, right?
Yeah, they could have just went farther with it. I think
it needed to be like what Galaxy did for the 3D Marios. We needed something like that for 2D Marios, and it wasn't that. It was that visually, but it wasn't that as far as the gameplay.
Yeah,
I do remember being surprised. There. I thought the flowers were gonna be really annoying, the talking flowers, but they're fun.
Oh, they are.
You think they're annoying?
Oh yeah, no. I changed the language. I changed it to Japanese, so it's less annoying.
Yep.
Oh really?
That's what I always do to characters that annoy me. I change their voice to Japanese. Like there was, I mean, most of the time I like playing games in Japanese. Other than, especially Japanese games, I like playing them in Japanese, especially if they take place in Japan. Like what was it when I was playing Onimusha 2 and I could not change the dial and I could not change the spoken language to Japanese. That kind of weirded me out because it takes place in like feudal Japan. So it's like, why do I have to hear? Why am I stuck with English voiceover? I mean, the voice acting's good. It's just like, it was just weird that there wasn't another audio option.
Well, that's what they were feuding over. They were like, should we speak English or Japanese? So they were still speaking English back then.
But like, what was it? When I was playing Rune Factory, I play all that in Japanese, and your little the dragon, like the luck dragon that you have, I played the first part in English, and he's like super annoying. Like he's supposed to be like this annoying, funny, dumb like sidekick or whatever in English. But when you switch it to Japanese, like his tone is completely different. Like he's like this super chill, like helpful guy. He's not like, hey, let's go over here, guys, or whatever. He's not all like off the wall, but the tone is completely different if you switch it. So it's weird. But yeah, most of the time I use the Japanese one. But I remember, John, you switched it to like Dutch or something like that because it was funny.
I thought Dutch sounded like no offense to the Dutch people, it sounded like the goofiest. So I thought it was the most appropriate for Mario game. Yeah,
but not yet. I didn't like those flowers. Like once I saw that trailer and it was like onward and upward, I'm like, oh my god, no. No, I don't need that.
Live, laugh, love.
Yeah, I do not need that thing talking to me. So, but we made it through. It was part of my goal was to, if I can beat, if we can beat Super Mario Wonder and some other games I was working on, then I would buy some buy some games on sale, and I did.
Okay.
I kind of did my own like sale extravaganza, kind of like John did, but less. I didn't spend like $100 on it. It was more like $40 or something like that for a few games. But we beat Super Mario Brothers Wonder. That was great. We did a few hours before the show happened, so that was cool.
Oh, super recent.
And we were like, we did it on Saturday because that's when we recorded. But we were like, oh, what do we do now? But no. And also, when I was editing I don't know, what was it last week when we recorded? After we were done recording, I was kind of tired, but I wanted to play something. But I wanted to play something like kind of dumb that I didn't have to think about. And I had re-downloaded a bunch of stuff that had like uncapped frame rates, that I had heard about that I already owned. And one of those things was 13, was the 13 remaster,
Final Fantasy 13,
the old GameCube game, with the new version. And I remember getting that on sale like however long ago. But I started playing it again, and it runs. I don't remember it actually running that bad before, but it's super smooth now. I'm pretty sure it's a 60 frames per second, but I just kind of got addicted to it, and I just kept playing it until I beat it. And it was fun. It had some interesting moments in there. Jess and I, we've been watching rewatching like the X-Files, like going through all those again, just because I was like, hey, we should watch that show again, just because I don't know when I've seen all of it last. And
have you seen The Bounty Hunter yet?
Oh, Brian Thompson.
Yeah.
Yes, we just watched the episodes with Brian Thompson in there, and I referred to him by name every time we saw him because we know him. We did an interview with him, so yeah. I was like, hey, there's Brian Thompson, because he he's he's a shapeshifter, so like people keep turning into him, and I was like, yeah, they're turning into Brian Thompson. I was like, and there he is.
Oh.
But yeah, we talked to that.
The
guy.
Jango Fett of X-Files.
He was also, he's like a whatever shapeshifter mutant or whatever. But he was also what's his face, Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat 2,
and in Buffy.
And he was in Buffy too, yeah, because that's the picture I got that was signed was from Buffy. But
and his opinion. No, I won't talk about it. His opinions were funny.
Oh yeah, he had like pro opinions on Teslas, but he just thought that everyone should use cars that drive themselves because everything would be safer, which that hasn't aged that well as an opinion now,
Well, his opinion was, when it came down to it, the thing that he said that to me was like, it took my breath away for just a brief second when he was like, see, I said I wasn't going to say it, now I am. Oh, well, whatever. He said, if you're a parent and you have your kids driving around in a combustion engine, you're a bad parent.
Did he say that? I don't remember.
Yeah,
that.
He said you're a bad parent if you're allowing your kids to.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember the parent part. I thought he was just saying that everybody was bad that wasn't using like self-steering.
It seemed a little out of touch, I'm going to say.
Yeah,
just a little out of touch.
Sure. Well, I mean, he's been acting for a long time, but I did like. He was fun to do an interview.
He wears a scarf inside.
I'm not saying. I don't want to say anything bad about him because I thought he was nice to.
He was cool. He's cool. It's just like every once in a while you just hear these like these things that just stick with you, and that was one of them.
Well, I remember him talking. He did talk the X-Files up a lot, and he was very impressed by their budget.
And where they filmed in Canada or whatever.
Of like just being on set and just like the cranes and all the money they had for it at the time, and he was impressed by it. And yeah, he came in like mid-season 2, so he's there pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I was playing the game 13, and the main character doesn't talk that much because he's basically he has amnesia. So like most of the game, you're trying to figure out who you are, because you wake up and you don't know what's happening. You're part of this
JRPG.
You're part of this group of assassins that are only known by their numbers, and no one actually knows what their actual names are and all that. And once I hear him talk, I'm like, oh my God, Mulder. I forgot that David Duchovny was the voice of 13 in the game 13. So that was a funny surprise to me when I was playing it. I was like, oh yeah, I know that fucking voice. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he was in this game. But actually, what's cooler than that though, is that fucking Adam West is in this game.
That's really cool.
Adam West, 1960s Batman. He's we lost him a while ago, but it's nice to find to find more lines from Adam West that you don't. Well, I remember him being in the game, but I mean it had been a minute. Like he's like your whatever. He's like your superior officer that you have to rescue him from the bad guys. Like you do. Like there's a lot of there are like sneaking missions in this, which thankfully the remake has a lot of checkpoints, so it makes the stealth stuff less annoying. Because I'm not very good at stealth games, and they kind of annoy me for that reason. But thankfully this one had a lot of checkpoints, so it's like you just got to get so far, and then if you get found out, you could just go back to that checkpoint. It'd help you ease through it. Even though I did have this really funny glitch that happened, which thankfully it got fixed. But I was like in this. There's this part where you have to go into this tent and you have to like put it. You have to put a bug on this like under this table, and you have to listen to this this like conversation between these people, and record it and all this stuff. And like I did this, and then every time when the conversation was done, I would automatically get caught. Like right after they were done, like it would be like alarm, game over, and it did it like every time. And I even went around and killed everybody around the tent, before it happened, and I went and killed every single person, and it still kept happening where it automatically would have alarm, and I'd get game over. I'd be like, what the fuck? And it would say like the meeting never happened. And then I looked it up, and some people on Reddit had said that it was like a glitch with the remaster, and I'm like, oh shit, well I don't want to get stuck here because I've been having a great time with this game, and now I'm stuck in this fucking tent listening to these guys talk all over again. So I just restarted the game, and I had to start all the way back at the beginning of the level, because the checkpoints don't save. They're not like autosave, so that sucked. But I started from the beginning, and then I went all the way back there, and it didn't happen this time. So I actually was able to make it through, and it didn't do the auto alarm thing. Also, I was trying to be a little bit more careful about sneaking into the tent and not like, not letting anybody know that you're there or whatever. But yeah, no, it's fun. It's a fun first person shooter, like fairly, simple. There's a lot of notes of GoldenEye in there. It kind of feels like it's trying to be like a Bond game, especially the music feels like it's inspired by like the Grant Kirkhope and Graham Norgate stuff from 64 and all that. But I always liked it because it was based on like a British comic book from way back when.
And a French comic book.
Was it French? Or, I mean, I don't know. You corrected me last week and you were wrong, so I'm going to look that up.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
When you told me the price of Rocket League, you were wrong.
Rocket League.
Yeah.
It's just called Wii.
It was $20.
It's
Belgian. It's a Belgian comic.
Oh, Belgian.
So we're both.
It's called Stroopwafel.
So we're both wrong. There you go. But anyway, it's not American. But yeah, it was based on a comic from Belgium, a Belgium graphic novel series.
I remember at the time the big deal was that it was a cell shaded first person shooter. Cell shading was kind of a new trend at the moment. Yeah,
that was kind of what I was getting at. That's what really drew me to it was that they really went out of their way to make it look like a comic book. Like it has like the onomatopoeia, like the sound effects and all that. And whenever you shoot somebody like in the head, it does like the comic panels and shows like the bullet like going through their skull and all that. And that was in the original one too. And it'll be like, and you can see the like words like above the guy's head and all that. And all the cutscenes are in comic panels, like they come in and move, they'll move between the panels. And I always thought it was really had a lot of style in that way. So, it was fun to play it again. But yeah, I beat it. I ended up, and I streamed the end of it and put it on.
I can't remember if that was you or John who just bought the game and then it like was announced for.
Oh, that was me.
I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
That was me.
You had just purchased it.
You were with me. I bought it at Midwest Gaming Classic.
That's right.
I bought it at MGC, and then they said they were doing a remake of it. So I didn't play it. I didn't play the GameCube one. Even though I'm sure the GameCube one's still a little better, but it does. I guarantee it did not have all those checkpoints. I think they added all that stuff as quality of life thing later. But some stuff is a little confusing. Like I had a hard time with the final level of the game because it doesn't really tell you what you're supposed to do. Well, it says you're supposed to disarm this missile that's about to go off, which is obviously 100% James Bond stuff. But it doesn't tell you how to do it. But it has like parts in the map. It's like go here, but it doesn't tell you what to do with it. And I ended up having to look online because I was so frustrated because I had to go in this room and blow up all the generators in the room. But it makes it look like you can go up to the generator and interact with it, but you can't. It just shows like things on the map, and you go to it and you press the interact button. It doesn't do anything. And there's a thing that you can interact with, and if you do, it automatically kills you. So there's like all these things that you just don't know about. That was really like
bad,
frustrating
game development.
Yeah. So that sucked. But I mean, aside from that, it was fun. I had a good time with it. And towards the end of the game, you find out that, hey, surprise, surprise, the government is ran by KKK members, and they're all wearing like white robes, and you're in this like big church, and they're having this like all these meetings, and you're sneaking around and killing all these robed Klansmen, and that was fun. I liked that. I like killing racists in video games, so there we go. But it feels a little weird now how close it is to reality. With it's like, we found out that everything's ran by racists. It's like, oh yeah, it's not, everything's so much better now, right?
Will you answer one question for me? If I want to play this, do I have to play I and through XII to understand it?
No. I mean, they're characters in the game. I still never did figure it. Well, I guess in the very end of the game, you do find out who number one is. Like, you really want to know who number one is.
P.
And it's like a crazy like twist ending. Like, they obviously wanted to do more with these games, and then they never did. It's just like the very end of it is like very cliffhanger, and it's like, what the fuck? And then it's like credits, and it's like, oh shit. I don't know if we have enough. I was like, we should do a Patreon episode sometime where we talk about games with cliffhanger endings that never had sequels. I know that's very
one-off games.
It's very specific.
Half-Life 2, Episode 2.
Well, yeah, there's Half-Life, but I mean,
it's interesting that it never got a sequel because obviously, I guess it sold well enough or is well remembered enough that it got this remake.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different company who did it. Like, maybe they just got the license from Ubisoft or whatever, because it was originally an Ubisoft game.
Yeah, I imagine that.
So I think they just got the license. Like, I don't think they re-recorded any of the voices. I mean, obviously Adam West, I think had already died before the remaster happened or whatever, and but I don't know. I
guess Ubisoft was just like, sure, we'll make money off this.
I'm sure with it. Maybe there was just one person out there that was like, man, I really love that 13 game. I thought nobody even remembered that game except for me. But no, it's cool. And you have like a grappling hook, and you can kind of like hook onto things, and you can go up and down. You can kind of swing around like Batman style or whatever. So that's kind of cool too. But yeah, it ran really fast. The weapons are cool. Like, it's fun to just it's either like there's like the sneaking missions and there's the just kill everything missions, and I like the kill everything ones, just going through and just blasting everybody. And there's a gun in there which I still remember. There's a gun that can hold 200 bullets at once, and you can shoot 200 bullets before you have to reload it. And I thought that was the coolest thing at the time, because I had not seen a gun that held that many bullets that you could just like mow everybody down in the game. I remember that from playing it back in the early 2000s or whatever when it came out. So, but yeah, I beat that game, and I think it was like an over 10 gig download or something like that. So I was like, I'll get through this, and then I'll delete that and Super Mario Wonder, and I can make space.
It's all that cell shading. It takes up a lot of gigs.
Maybe, I don't know. It's all the voice work. It's Adam West's voice.
It is probably that.
It takes a lot for that. Oh, and Eve is in it too. Don't forget about her. She's also in the credits.
Eve?
Eve is Eve
the
is
singer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
She's your partner. Even though you don't really see her, she just talks to you and helps you go through the missions. You see her at the end. It ends on a party boat. With you're like on this boat with a bunch of food and stuff and fireworks, and you don't actually fight anybody. You just have to walk around and talk to people. I was thinking that maybe I never beat it, because I think I would remember that ending, like the party boat ending or whatever. It kind of reminds me of like the Mission Impossible game for Nintendo 64, which I think I'm one of the few people that actually beat that game. But at the end of the game, you're at a party and you go around and talk to everybody, but everybody is the developers for the game. And I always thought that was really cool. It was a really funny way to do credits. It's like you go out and you just talk to people who made the game, like within the game. I always thought that was really neat. The rest of the game, not so neat, but that part was cool. It's probably a reference to that part in Chrono Trigger where you get to meet the developers also.
It probably is, yeah. That's legendary.
But yeah, it was a cool thing. But yeah, like I said, a bunch of shit was on sale, and also because we did a Patreon episode, patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast. It'll be out. Edited version will be out like later this week, I'm sure. But we did our wish list survivor episode, which John's been cooking on that one for a while.
Or we had to call our wish lists and other people's demands to take things off your wish list. So Trey, you had some that you didn't really want to let go of. Is that right?
That's true, but I don't want to spoil anything. Got to get on the Patreon to hear it. So try that out. But no, it was like the idea was I was going to share my wish. We're all going to share a wish list with each other, and we'll each choose like 5 games to get rid of on it. So that could be like a total of 10 games, and I don't think we overlapped on any of them. But that also gave me more reason to download to buy some of the things that were on there, to save them from possibly getting deleted from the wish list. So that was what I was doing. But let's see. So I guess I'll go through the things that I haven't really played that much, but I was happy to get. I finally got those Double Dragon games that I should have. That should have been my nickname, Triple Dragons, because I got 3 Double Dragon games. I got 3 of them.
Sextuple dragon.
I got 3 of them for like $17 or something like that, which is a good deal. So I got Super Double Dragon, which I've been wanting to get forever. It's a Super Nintendo game, which I have in cartridge form, playing behind me. But I love that game. That's probably my favorite Double Dragon out of all of them. Is Super Double Dragon. It's a lot of fun to play. It had like a great move set, and I played the crap out of it back in the day. And I bought the Switch version of it, which is just basically, I think it was like $5 normally, and it was on sale for like $3.50. So it wasn't that much cheaper. But I've had these on my wish list for like ever, like this one and the Game Boy Advance one. And I don't know why I've been waiting to get them, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to get these finally, so they can't get deleted during the episode. That's what
I'm surprised there's not just like a Double Dragon collection.
Yeah, right. They sold them separately. Well, there's the Kunio-kun one, but it doesn't have those particular games in there. So maybe it's a separate developer. I mean, these ones have like ArcSys on it, like as the publishers or whatever. So maybe the Kunio ones are different. I don't
licensing
know. Or like the Trade West or whatever.
Technos.
Yeah, but these ones, instead of a collection, they were sold as separate games, which whatever. But yeah, so I got Super Double Dragon. I played a little bit, just to, it's still as fun as I remembered. It actually seemed a lot harder than I remembered, but maybe I got to switch the difficulty on or whatever. But the game that I never played, that I was actually really impressed with, was the Game Boy Advance Double Dragon. Did any of you guys ever play that Double Dragon Advance?
Oh, did not.
So it's like a full-on remake of Double Dragon 1, but like all the sprites are different. Like they're much more detailed. They're bigger. And the levels are completely reworked too. If you played the original one, you recognize them, but they're different. And there's a story mode now, and there's cutscenes, sort of, where you talk to the people you beat up, and you see parts of the original one, but it's obviously fully reworked through the whole thing. There's new move sets for everybody. It actually has a single player, 2-player mode, which is pretty wild. You can play as both Billy and Jimmy. But you press a button to switch between the two of them, so you can try to control both of them at once, which is interesting. But it's really I actually had a really good time with it. It was I wanted to try to beat it, but I ran out of continues, and I
is it easier to? Okay, so it doesn't have like a save.
It does. It has the save state. That save state kind of reminds me of like the NES Classic stuff, where you got like 4 or 5 like save slots, like that sort of thing that you can just save whenever you want.
That's really cool for a Game Boy Advance game.
Like that sort of thing, yeah. And you can mess around with like the scan lines and like the backgrounds and all that stuff and all that fun shit.
So probably this stuff was added after the fact. The save state.
Oh yeah, no, the save states weren't on the original game. That's on this on this version. That's the quality of life stuff. No, I think the original one you might have had to play it all in one sitting. I don't know if there's a save system or not. But I was playing it. I was just playing around with it while we were before we recorded yesterday, and I was like, wow, this game's actually good. It's actually I didn't know what to expect from it, and I was kind of really blown away by how nice it looks and how fun it was to play, and there's a lot more moves you can do, and it's probably one of the best remade versions of, it's the only remade version I guess I've played of Double Dragon 1, but I thought it did a really good job, like having all the moments in there, and there's all the spots, and there's still that fucking bridge that's really still hard to jump across. If you remember, if you ever got there, it's really fucking hard. And I still died like 5 times trying to get across that. I should have saved before, but it's still there. I thought about
that's what
like
save states are for.
Yeah, I just didn't think about it. I was like, oh, this one's remade, so it'll be fine. And then I just kept fucking up on that same stupid jump in the mountains or whatever. I wonder if that last level is still.
You press B and A to jump?
No, it has its own jump button now.
Okay.
And you can remap it because the original Game Boy Advance only had like 4 buttons, so it's like punch and kick is A and B, and jump is actually R. So that can be a little awkward, but you can change the buttons to however you want them, wherever you want them to be. So like there's a block button now, and then there's the jump button is R, and B and A. So I just moved it around to where B was jump, and then I had X and Y as the kick and all that. But yeah, it's like $350. Yeah, it's a great buy there. And I also got the other Double Dragon game, the Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons, which I know we weren't big fans of the art style, but I heard nothing but great things about that game. Like Shake and Joe, like they loved that game. Like they just talked it up like crazy. So, but apparently it has multiple endings. It has a whole bunch of different unlockable characters. Like insanely replayable. Like I know Retronauts did an interview with the developers. Like they sound really cool too. So it's been praised up and down. And I played a little bit of it, and it's got really good controls. Like the moves are nice. I picked the girlfriend because you could play as the girlfriend that always gets kidnapped at the beginning of the game.
Marion.
And she has a gun, and you can just shoot people. Which I was like, sense. Okay, so she doesn't have combos. She just has a gun that just shoots at people. So it's with her, it's like a Contra game or something. So it plays completely different. And so then I switched back to one of the brothers. But yeah,
that's the only way that character would come back. She's like, if I'm going to be in another version, you got to give me a gun this time.
Yeah, right.
It was in her contract.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of a fun thing, I guess. But it plays much different than all the other Double Dragon games because this one actually has like an open world, and you can choose like where you go on different missions.
What?
And
open world.
It's kind of a little bit. I guess it's a little bit more like the Kunio-kun stuff. I guess, right? Like the like River City Ransom or whatever is kind of like adding that in there. But yeah, no, I mean,
elements.
So far it's cool. I know it's got 2-player online, and they added a bunch of free DLC to it as well. I remember hearing about that. There was a bunch of new characters.
How annoying is the art style, or is it annoying?
I don't think it's annoying. It just feels kind of weird for when you're used to seeing Double Dragon look a certain way, I guess.
I thought it was Neon that everyone hated the art style.
No, Neon.
I think they hated that art style too. The one that was on Xbox.
I mean, it's on Switch too. I have it.
Yeah.
I mean, Neon I actually thought looked good. It was just not fun to play. That's either that or it was way too hard. Like I had a really hard time getting through it. But that was a way forward game, so I actually thought that one looked good. What was it? Double Dragon 5 or 4 was the one that you hated, John, that you talked about on this show?
4 was really bad.
Yeah,
surprisingly bad. It just felt like a fan-made Flash game or something. Yeah, it felt empty. I didn't like it.
I remember Neon looking good, but I just couldn't get very far in it. But I mean, just the only thing it's just the chibi art style of it that's the kind of like, made me feel like, oh, this looks kind of weird. But
that's the thing too, and then it also has kind of like a casino games vibe, which I don't like in any video game. Like if there's lots of icons flashing up, yeah, and it looks like something that would be made for like a mobile phone in that way, like that kind of design. I don't know.
I didn't really get that from it, but I don't know. I didn't really feel. I just thought the chibiness was weird, and it's interesting because like on the loading screens, it shows like the characters looking exactly like the NES characters, like moving in place. And I was like, well, why didn't they do that? You got it right there. You already made it look like the NES one. Why didn't we do that design? Or maybe you can unlock that later. But like I said,
as we're talking Double Dragon, maybe we might as well bring up the news bit where Double Dragon Revival, is it called? Is coming to Switch 2.
Revive, yeah,
it's coming to Switch 2.
Yeah,
and that's a 3D brawler. But again, to me, like I don't like the art style. It looks kind of bland and dull, and I don't know. To me, the answer has been right there since 1989. Just make one game from Double Dragon that looks like the cover art to Double Dragon 2, which is like one of the most badass cover arts ever in video games, and it's just sitting right there for the taking. That's what Double Dragon should look like. Make a Double Dragon game look like that, and that's an instant buy for me.
I mean, I'm going to get this game. I'm going to get the Revive one. I watched the recent trailer of it, and I think it looks great. I don't have. I mean, it looks like a Street Fighter game. Like it kind of looks like the same like Street Fighter 4 through 6 like art style. So I'm into it, and it's a what you call it also. It's an Arc System game. Who brought us like a Guilty Gear and all that sort of stuff. So I watched like the recent trailer of it, and I think it looks good. I don't really have the same feelings as you do on it. But I mean, I'll be the ambassador. I'll come back and let you know.
See, John's the beat 'em up person, so
how I actually feel about it.
Trust John's judgment.
Sure.
Is that, and then like
I mean, it looks like there's a lot more to looks like there's a lot more to do in it than most Double Dragon games, and I'm into that. Like they need to expand it across just like walk punch.
Yeah, it looks, maybe they're trying something different. I don't know. I'm curious about it. I'm always going to be interested in a new Double Dragon game. But if you play Sifu, man, that's the new bar, and it doesn't look like it's getting anywhere near there. Like the intricacies of the moves that you can pull off in Sifu, you just feel like a martial artist, just moving your thumbs around it. And I don't know, this new Double Dragon to me looks a little slow, a little barren, and a little uninspired.
Have you seen anything about the game by the developers of Sifu?
The
game?
soccer
No.
one?
It's a soccer game.
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah,
didn't hear
rematch.
about that.
It's like out now. I mean, people,
It's
right?
supposed to be really, really fun.
Or it's out, or
Really?
people are playing it in some form.
I think it's
right?
on like Steam. Yeah,
What's it called? Rematch?
Rematch. Yeah.
Ooh, I gotta look that up.
it seems right up your alley.
Yeah, I like soccer games. I've said that before. I love Sifu.
I don't know. Watch that newest trailer again. I don't see all those things that you're saying. I don't think it looks barren or whatever. I think it looks cool actually. It looks like a full on polygoned Streets of Rage. So I'm into it. I don't know. I watched it again and thought it looked cool. But regardless, I don't have that game, so I'm not talking about it anymore. But yeah, Double Dragon Rise of the Dragons. It was $10 and marked down from $25. And yeah, like I said, Shake talked that game up very highly, and and that I respect his opinion. So
Yeah.
I feel like I need eventually to get it, and he's not the only one. Like as far as people who played it, they all gave it great reviews, as far as I know of. So I want to get it eventually, and $10 was probably the lowest it's been so far. So I was fine with that. So I'm excited to play through more of it. I'm sure I'll fuck around with it while I'm editing or whatever. And let's see. I got Ultra Age, which that was an action game that had a demo way back when, which I liked and always wanted to buy it. And now I finally did. For $12 marked down from $30. So
What'd you say? It's an action game?
it's an action game.
Yeah, from like 4 or 5 years ago. I thought it kind of looked, maybe I'm completely off base. I don't know. It reminded me of like a sci-fi Monster Hunter or something. Remember I tried a little bit of it. It just wasn't for me.
It reminded me of like a Devil May Cry, like Bayonetta sort of thing.
Okay.
But kind of with more more like swords and stuff. It's kind of what I got from it. Maybe a little more medieval, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I really enjoyed the demo, and I always wanted to buy the game, and I finally did now. Even though I haven't,
you own it.
Even though I haven't played it, but I wanted to save that one from John trying to delete it or something.
Huh?
So there you go. So I got that one. I am excited to play it. I didn't get a chance to get around to it yet, but I got the Beyond Good and Evil remaster because I always loved that game on GameCube, and it was on sale for $14. And I heard that one's got a better frame rate than it did on Switch 1. It's got a steady 30, so cool. This is the third time I bought Beyond Good and Evil, by the way. I bought it on GameCube, I bought it on PlayStation 3, and now I got it on Switch too. So.
Yeah, I have it on GameCube. I have not played it.
Oh, you never played it?
Years and years. No, I tried playing it. I just don't recall ever really being able to get into it.
It's great. Well, I mean, I remember what Matt Casamassina really loved that game, and it's a short game too. But it has I think the big thing was it has a really cool universe. I thought that they created like a world that you work through, and and you get to. I think it was one of the first games I played that was like an action game where you could also take pictures of stuff and sell pictures and whatnot.
Isn't it one of those
because you're a photographer?
Dystopian games where you're like fighting against like the corporations that rule over everything or whatever.
Yeah, and you're like in a dome or something and there's very much like a presence like from other.
And your sidekick is one of the dudes from Animal Farm or something.
Well, there's Paige. I remember the pig Paige. Like he was really cool. Like I remember
there was a lot of it in that Netflix show that I liked, Captain Laserhawk, the one that was like a mashup of Ubisoft games.
Oh yeah. So Jade was in there?
Yeah, Jade was in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I always thought she was a cool character and that she was like more I don't know, more like dimensionality than most video game characters at the time. So, but anyway, yeah, I got that one also just because it's been on my list forever. And I picked up because of the expansion pack. I got My Friend Pedro and Inscription, which I haven't played either of those.
What?
But I have them. I have them now.
Well, you bought both. See, I didn't know I had to must buy both of them because I only must buy one.
Oh no, you don't have to because neither of you did. That was a rule I didn't know. I thought you had to buy both of them, but John said you could decide on which one you wanted to
I said you could decide one, but
I mean they were on sale. They were on sale a lot. Like Inscription was $8 and My Friend Pedro was $4, so that was like $12 for 2 games. So I'm fine with that. It was
well worth it.
We said a $15 limit, and that was still below the $15 limit. So
fair enough.
And yeah, Inscription was knocked down from $20. I think that's like the cheapest it's been.
That's the cheapest.
It is.
Yeah, $8. Geez.
And also like My Friend Pedro was $20
for
too,
$4.
and now it's $4. So
both of those I believe are still on sale And if you don't have those, you should run out and get them. Both great games.
Yeah, I think the sale goes through like next weekend or something. So, but
these are two like top NintenDomain podcast picks for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's wild that like I'm really actually I guess that's Patreon stuff. But I was surprised Jeremy didn't pick this one game for John, but it's fine. We already recorded that. But yeah. And the other I haven't played those yet, but the game that I've been playing more than anything out of all of these is Darksiders 3. I guess this had I'd caught notice of it because SwitchUp did a video about it, just like how the frame rate is like 60 now. And I watched their review of Darksiders 3 when it came out, and it was bad. Like the performance was really, really bad, like when it came out. And now it looks great. Like I love it. I think it looks awesome. I think it almost looks like a Switch 2 game. But I mean, it's just smooth, and I like the art style and all that. And I was a huge fan of Darksiders 1 on PlayStation 3. I'm sure I've recommended it many times on here. But it's on Switch. You can buy it for like nothing. But it's basically like a Zelda style game, but it takes place in like the post-apocalyptic world where everything's destroyed, and like the war of heaven and hell or whatever. And the idea is like you play as like the four different horsemen in each of the Darksiders. So like you start off the first game as War, and you play through War's story, and then the second one is Death, and that actually takes place at the same time as the first one, and now you're playing as Fury. So I don't know if they'll ever make a fourth one, but yeah, you're supposed to play as all the different horsemen, the four horsemen of Apocalypse, and it's just like fighting giant demons, and like everything's getting destroyed, and the set pieces are really big. And I always liked it. I don't know if the demo on Switch is like this, but the PlayStation 3 demo, they give you the entire first dungeon. Like you get to play through a whole dungeon as the demo. And I thought that was so cool. Like I don't think I'd ever played a demo that big at the time. That was before like the 8-hour Square Enix demos or whatever.
Square releases really good demos.
Yeah, but I mean this was a long time ago. This was like in the probably not even 2010 yet. Probably around then, maybe because I didn't get my PS3 till like 2009, but it was around that time. It was whenever that crazy snowstorm was, like the Snowmageddon or whatever, because I was stuck at home and I needed stuff to do, and I played through the demo of Darksiders, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. I mean, it's like, imagine like Nintendo giving you an entire dungeon from Zelda for free to try out a game. Like they've never done that before, and that's basically what they did with this. They gave you an entire dungeon, including the boss, and all the treasures and all that you get just to try out the game. And I'd never seen anything like that before.
Does it save your progress?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember if it does or not. I'd have to look that up. But I wondered if the demo is like as extensive on Switch. Anyway, I've always liked these games. I bought Darksiders 2 twice. I bought it on PS3 and Wii U. It was on Wii U also. That's the game starring Death. I never really made it through that one. But it's got a lot of open world stuff in it, and there's a horse you can drive around. You can ride around on, the pale horse that Death rides in the Revelation, all that fun stuff. But yeah. But Darksiders 3 is cool. It was much harder than I thought. You have to beat a boss before you can even save or level up. Is that like a Dark Souls type thing? Like because
it's Demon Souls has that. I think Dark Souls you run past the first boss. That's kind of a thing they did.
Oh yeah, I couldn't leave.
You don't have to, but you should.
I couldn't leave. I was stuck.
I was campfire after that.
Yeah, I was stuck in a house with because you run. You go through and you fight a few guys, and then you fight your first boss. Which the idea in the game is you're hunting down the 7 deadly sins. So like the first one was at the what's it called? Envy.
Gluttony.
I think it's Envy is the
Envy.
first one you fight. But Envy looks like a character from the Dark Crystal also. It has that same design, like the puppets with the big like bird like mouse or whatever. The designs are really cool.
The Skeksis?
The Skeksis, yeah, it looks like a Skeksis. Anyway, you get stuck in there and you have to fight. You can't leave until you beat them. And I kept losing and going, and it'd take me all the way back to the beginning of the game. And I thought that I had accidentally because there's a nightmare mode that's like where the whole thing is kind of like a roguelike pretty much, minus like the randomness of it, where you basically have to play through the whole game without dying. Because if you die, there's game over and you got to start from the beginning again. And I thought that was what I was stuck on because I kept going back to the beginning every time I died. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I almost I was streaming it too on Twitch. And I was almost like about 40 minutes into it. I was like, I don't know. I kind of hate this game. This sucks, because I can't beat this first boss, and I keep going through, and it's all about dodging and doing time dodges and doing like the witch time stuff, like like you would in Ease or Bayonetta or whatever. And if you don't know how to do it, you're gonna get your ass handed to you really quickly. And I guess when I watched the review of it later, that was a big controversy, like that they had changed Darksiders to be more Dark Souls-like. And a lot of the fans were mad about it because they wanted it to be more like the first two games instead of like Dark Souls, especially like a series that's already has a few games in it to like switch it up so much.
Yeah.
But I guess there was DLC where they changed it to have the controls more similar to Dark Souls 1 and 2, and that's how I was playing it. So I didn't really know about all this stuff, but I made it through I finally made it through the first boss, and once you get through the first boss, you find like a save point, but then you got to go a little bit farther until you find this like Vilgrim, I think is what his name is, this guy that you like trade your souls in that you collect to get to like up your, to start like gaining levels and getting, doing your stats and all that stuff. And it does a similar thing, like when you die, your souls stay wherever you died and you can come back and collect them and you'll lose them all, like I know that's very much a Dark Souls thing. But yeah, no, I've been having a good time with it. It looks nice and it plays nice and it kind of has a Metroidvania feel to it too, where you like, there's parts you can't go to, but you need to get a thing and then come back and go to it. The only thing that sucks is there's no map. There's no map at all. You just kind of walk through yourself and kind of figure out where to go. But it does feel kind of linear in that way. But yeah, no, it's been, it's kind of got its hooks into me. And I got stuck on one thing and I was just looking for a guide and I went to IGN's guide and I was like, oh, hey, Jana Garcia wrote this. I think it was one of her first guides, actually. Our patron of the show, Jana Garcia. So that was funny. I didn't realize that she had written that. So yeah, still helping me on really old games on Switch 2 here. So thanks, Janet, for your advice on Darksiders 3. But yeah, no, it's cool. I like the way the characters look, and it's fun, and the voiceover is really cool, and everything looks nice. I can only imagine what it looked like on Switch 1, because like I said, I watched the review, and it looks like it looked bad. Like it would like stop mid-level to load, which it does kind of do that too, but it's really quick. Like it'll stop for like half a second maybe, and then you'll keep moving, and it'll be a little thing that says like, but it doesn't do it that often. But it's been cool, and yeah, I only got it for like $12, and I marked it once I saw that it was running so well on Switch 2, and now it's on sale. So I was like, oh, I got to get that game. So that was the one I was looking forward to more than anything else. And yeah, and I've taken up like the whole hour here. And also I finally got to play Fortnite again with Joe Sancho on our stream on Monday. He's been unavailable for a while. Well, we've both been unavailable because we've been out and stuff. But yeah, Fortnite looks awesome on Switch 2. It looks so much better now. And we were playing Blitz Royale is what it's called. And it's basically like regular Fortnite, but like way faster. And it goes really quick. Like the storm moves really quickly. And it's just about like, and I think you get half the amount of people too. And we won like multiple times in a row. And you unlock like a specific skin if you do it. And
oh, cool.
It's basically like a really intense Fortnite. Like the map's smaller. You get different boons like whenever you start it, like random boons. And it's all about like, collect weapons really quickly and just survive as quick as you can. But it's like straight up just more fighting than hiding, So I don't know. If you ever boot up Fortnite again, I recommend trying it out because it's pretty cool. So he plays that game like crazy. So fill me in on all the stuff. But I swear, like any of like the like any of the like skill, like a big part of it was just that I can finally see things because of the Switch 2. Like the draw distance is really good. And it doesn't have that 10 frames per second animation.
Does it have gyro controls?
Yeah, it did on Switch 1, and I was using them for Switch 2 also. It also has mouse control, which I couldn't figure out how to get it to work, but I've seen other people make videos where it does work right. But yeah, no, it's got gyro. I was using full gyro, and that really does help. So, but yeah, no,
that helps a lot.
But yeah, give it a go. It was fun. It was fun to play it, and it looks so much better. It looks so much better than it did on Switch 1. It's a whole different. It's a whole different game because you have to download a different thing, to play it. But yeah, that's it. I'm done now.
Why don't we take a break and then we can come back and finish this segment. Hey, you.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, you. Subscribe to our Patreon to hear our bonus shows, which happen every month.
I'm tired.
Tired of all the big corporate podcasts spoon-feeding you the same old video game news on every single show?
Spaghetti. Ravioli.
Then expand!
With NintenDomain Expansion Pack.
It's us talking about old games that were important to us. It's us interviewing people that we meet at conventions. And heck, it's live shows from those same conventions. It's basically everything you could want that NintenDomain ever made.
Here we go!
And it's just $1 a month.
That's less than a bad indie on the eShop.
It's $12 a year, which is less than Nintendo Switch Online.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon and supporting NintenDomain.
Just go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast and, hey, Mario, let go. Whoa! He's throwing us back to the show.
So long, Bowser.
Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast.
Game over.
Hey, we're back from the break. Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention before we went on break, when I was playing Fortnite with Joe, the microphone on my Switch 2 just turned on its own without me turning it on.
I don't like that.
So we were talking on Discord because Joe still has a Switch 1, and that's normally how we, play and all that. And he's like, "There's this really weird echo going on. Like, what is that?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, my setup's the same as it always is." And he's like, "Well, go check the settings." And I went into the Fortnite settings, and there it was. It showed like my level, like a level of me. So there's no microphones going to the Switch 2 aside from the one that's on there. So it just turned itself on its own for duos on Fortnite, and that's weird. that's something weird I discovered. So make sure your microphone's not on, I guess. I guess this is probably the only game that would do that, but. Yeah, it just turned on. I don't know
if they could do it, anyone can do it, right?
Yeah. So that's a thing that happened. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, a bit of a tangent maybe, but if Joe doesn't have a Switch 2 and you've got an offer for one.
Yeah, I thought about offering it to him, but I don't know. He may not. I don't know. He may not have the money to get it right now.
That's a huge chunk of cash, and he has kids.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
He might not. Yeah, because I think. I don't know. I think if he wanted one, he would have got it by now. But I did talk it up. Like I said, Fortnite looks a lot better on it, and it's like night and day difference. But that's enough about me. Why don't you guys talk about what you've been doing?
Sure. I guess I could go next. I've still just been playing Fantasy Life forever.
Yeah, you broke 100. You made it to 100. You got a post 100 hour thing.
This game's a problem. I kind of knew it would be, but like
a problem.
Like 2 weeks ago, you were going to stop.
I get into
I think I'm winding it down.
Well, I remember when you were like, "Oh, I'm towards the end. I won't play it anymore." It's like 50 hours later.
Well, now I'm in like doing all the post game stuff, and you unlock new recipes by defeating shadow monsters and like these dungeons you've gone to before. So I just keep going back to those dungeons and like leveling up. And in the meantime, I can't remember if I had gotten a hero last week or not, but I got to hero in one of my classes, Paladin. And I thought there was going to be
Paladin.
A bit more.
Oh, you mean Paladin?
Paladin, yeah. I thought there was going to be a bit more, like gameplay wise that would change, but really all that happened was there's just like a special cinematic that happens, and then you can watch that whenever you want. So I didn't pay a lot of attention to it because I thought it was leading into something, and it didn't. And I was a little disappointed. Then I'm like, oh wait, I guess I can go back and watch it later, which I haven't yet. But basically, just like every job, they call them life. Every life in this, you have a special little thingy, if you get it to hero level.
They call
But
jobs lives.
Yeah, they're called lives in this.
Well, it's in the title. Fantasy life.
I didn't put two and two together on that, but that's so like depressing. Like your job is your life.
Well, it's based on
a lot of us, yeah.
It's based on this ancient culture, and there's like mystical stuff going on with it too. It's not just, but really, I mean, if you really want to break it down, yes, you are kind of like shamed for not having a life at one point by the king
for not having a job.
Yeah. He's like, it smells like, what does he say? It smells like I can't remember, but basically you just say like it smells like someone's being incredibly idle. Oh wait, that's because you don't have a life. You need a job. Go get a job, and then we can talk.
It sounds like your dad or something. It's like, get a job, get out of here.
Get a job. But I don't know. I mean, it's just addictive. The gameplay, collecting the recipes, making the new recipes, going through the dungeons. I'm almost to 1,000. Trying to get to 1,000 years in the I keep wanting to call them chalice dungeons, but the treasure groves in this. And in the meantime, I've just been leveling up stuff. My island is topped out. It's 4-star, so that's great. It's the highest level you can get. I got an art gallery, so it's the first building I've been able to build in like multiple weeks, because you literally can never build more than 6 villager homes. I thought I would maybe be able to eventually, but I looked some stuff up, and that's the maximum. So you can have like 50 villagers, but you can only build 6 houses, and you can only assign 1 villager per house. It's so stupid. They need to fix that. But you get an art gallery, and you get to go display your like art projects you do, which is kind of fun. And then occasionally a villager will be like, "Can I buy this off of you?" And then you can make a bunch of money off it. So
is it like? I mean, is it like what you can do in Animal Crossing, like design shirts and hats and stuff like that, or what? How much?
No,
art
it's not that cool. No, it's not that cool. You just make projects, and then if you do really well in the mini games, they'll have like more stars to them, and then those will be worth more in their art gallery. So no, sadly you can't actually like do a design. You can't do like Homer going back into the bushes or whatever, which was fun.
Did you do that? Did you do that in Animal Crossing?
I did, because Nina Matsumoto shared the
Oh, okay.
She figured out how to do it, and then she shared her grid design on Twitter at the time, and I just copied it.
Oh yeah. It's like I didn't remember. I didn't remember seeing that. I know there was a lot of different, like John had like you had like a picture of your face like on your like by your house or something, and
oh yeah, my kitchen is just my face.
There was a bunch of different. There were like apps that you could use or something, right? Where you could just take pictures. And them into,
I would take pictures of like albums and stuff and put them on the wall.
Yeah.
But I as far as I know, I need to look this up. But I don't think they've released whatever the update is that's going to give it the extra content yet.
Oh, the roguelite stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't follow it, so yeah, I definitely don't know. And I don't
should,
know it,
but
so
I
wouldn't
haven't.
know. Yeah.
But I really am kind of at a point where I do play. I mean, I play it for the last few days, maybe for like 20 or 30 minutes, and then I'm just like, I don't know what else to do, because I really have kind of maxed out what I can do, other than a couple of like really, really hard challenges that I need to grind more for, and I just don't feel like grinding, believe it or not. Whatever though, I'll keep playing it. I've gotten my money's worth out of this game for sure.
I mean, that's your Switch. That's like your Switch 2, your big Switch 2 game. You know, I mean, well,
it's probably my game of the year right now. But
I mean, you play Mario Kart World, you know, somewhat, but this is the one that really gave you your money's worth for your Switch 2, also. You know?
Oh, for sure. Although I would argue that Shauna being interested in Mario Kart World is cool too, because she's played more games, and then also like Shauna's mom came over the other day because they were going to St. Louis to see a concert together. So her mom came to pick her up, and she showed up before Shauna was off of work. So I played Mario Kart with her, and she was getting a huge kick out of it.
Nice.
It was really funny too, because she just happened to be like going through like the character select screen, and she's like, "Who's this?" And she picked Birdo, and I'm like, "Oh, that's the one I have a hat of." And I just happened to like reach over and grab my Birdo hat. It blew her mind. Like, what? Like, why would I just have a hat of that all of a sudden? But
she doesn't know the popularity of Mario characters.
Right.
There's hats of all of them.
There's hats of everyone.
Almost.
And I have an entire bin of them. No, I don't. I just have one. But no, I guess Fantasy Life, yeah, for sure. If they put blueprints on Switch 2 before the end of the year, this game will have a run for its money.
Yeah, well, with all the like like all the non E3 directs and stuff, like I really feel like, either they don't have Switch 2 games as much, or they're just waiting for a Switch 2 direct, like to just let us know like where all the shit is. Because we were pretty hopeful about the Capcom one last week, but we didn't really get anything on that.
Yeah.
Like
I think Nintendo's in full, not to get too ahead of ourselves, in full Donkey Kong Bonanza mode. Now afterward, then I think the floodgate will be unleashed. Yep.
But I would still like to see it. I'd like to see a direct that has more Switch 2 stuff to look forward to, because it's very.
Yeah,
I'm looking across the. We talked about that last week about the upcoming releases, but it looks pretty sparse. As well, aside from whatever Nintendo's doing their one a month, as I figured they would, as they did, with Switch 1.
Yeah.
But
So I bought before we did our episode that Trey talked about earlier, the one where we were getting rid of stuff from each other's wish lists. I did actually buy this one as a trying to save it, because I really wanted this game. I've wanted it ever since I watched the documentary about Balatro and I always mention this and I always forget.
No Clip.
No Clip.
no
There we
clip,
go.
yeah.
The No Clip documentary about the creator of Balatro, who still just goes by a handle. I can't remember what his name is, but it's fine. Just a guy. But he doesn't want to be like in the public eye too much. But he did do this interview, audio interview, and he mentioned this game as being like one of the games he had been playing a lot before he started working on Balatro, or while he was working on Balatro when he started to kind of decide what elements he wanted in it. And it's a game called One Step from Eden. And I didn't even know about this game, but it's been on the Switch since 2021 or 2022. A really popular indie game. It's a card-based. I don't know if it's technically a roguelike. It might be, though. But it's a card-based game, but you're on a grid kind of like Mega Man Battle Network. And you move around in real time between attacks, so you can kind of dodge and stuff, but by moving around the grid. And I got to say, I don't really understand the game. But I've gotten through the first couple of levels just by sort of bumbling my way through it. But, maybe that's the idea. Maybe I'll understand more of it as it goes. But it's very sparse on the instructions. It just throws you into it. So I might need to look at some stuff on the internet to sort of figure it out. But I'm interested in trying it. It has a really cool art style. And, it's like I say, when I say Mega Man Battle Network, in case anyone's not envisioning it, it's like a isometric grid. And I don't know if it's maybe 6x6 or maybe it's bigger than that, but it's this grid and you're looking at it from an isometric angle, and your character's moving around and doing certain attacks that affect certain points in the grid in front of them. And that's how it will hit the enemies. And then the enemies might block you, or they might counter you, or I don't know. There's all kinds of different stuff that can happen based on your card decks. And that's the part I don't understand yet, but it has something to do with your cards as well.
Yeah, I was just looking for footage of it, and there's a switch up a review here. It says, Mega Man Battle Network meets Slay the Spire. That's what they were saying for it. They reviewed it pretty high. They gave it an 83.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's got potential to be a cool game, especially hearing it inspired one of my favorite games in the past several years. So I'm going to try to give it the old college try and really try to play it. And I can't remember what I got it for. I think it was $9 or $10. It was cheap. Yeah, and I saved it from the list because I was afraid somebody would eliminate it.
I didn't know what it was, so I was trying to, for the list, I was trying to only eliminate stuff that I've played or actually know something about. I didn't want to just be this one looks dumb, let's get rid of it. I want to be a little more educated on it.
I appreciate that.
So I probably wouldn't have.
I think everything went really well with that episode as a result of us knowing what we were talking about. Let's see what else. I think, I pretty much already talked about the Mario Kart stuff for the week when we were talking about earlier. When we were doing the episode, also, this is a game that I was forced to buy.
Yeah.
Because it's been on my wish list for years, and I finally bought it, and it was not on sale, but that's okay because it was only $10.
It was cheap. On the One Step from Eden is currently on sale for $8 right now, $7.99. Marked down
cheap.
From $20. So
I'm looking forward to diving into it it looks cool. I just need to understand it. I understand Slay the Spire, so maybe that'll help. But I don't understand Mega Man Battle Network at all.
Yeah, I never played any of those games.
I've never played it.
Those games are on there too.
They look scary.
There's a lot of them too.
Yeah, they went all the way to like 3DS, didn't they?
Yeah, there's a collection. There's like a Switch collection, but yeah, I don't know. I never played any of them because they look complicated.
Well, anyway, here, this next game, I don't know if it's been on my wish list since 2019, but that's when it came out originally. 1980X.
Yeah,
I bought it and I liked it. It was very much like, I would describe it as sitting down and watching a nice episode of a TV show. It was not like watching a movie, that's for sure. It's really short. I think I beat it in 2 sittings, and I started like not long before I went to bed last night, and then I played for like just a little bit after work today, and I finished it. So I was very surprised that it was over, but it was cool for what it was. And so basically,
it's like an adventure game, or what kind of thing?
It's like
it changes. It'll change. It'll change through different genres.
It's
right?
basically like you're watching a store, like a cartoon, like an anime or something, but it's all like pixel looking for all the art, and it's
looks
really
like a
cool.
pixelated Akira. I think that's what I got the vibe from that.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say any. I don't see the Akira.
I see more like
there.
No, I see more of what are those 16-bit games that were supposed to be like super like
flashback.
Yeah, like flashback or something like that. That's what like the cutscenes are like. They're really super high quality pixel art, but like with really cool animations and stuff. And a lot of still images as well, but it just like it's really stylish, and there's like a fairly consistent voiceover in all of the scenes. And I don't know, I kind of expected it to go somewhere beyond where it did, but it was still kind of cool because as your character is basically like a kid who had something terrible happen to his dad. I can't remember what. And then it's just him and his mom living together, but his mom's like kind of falling apart, and he's like just kind of out on his own. And he's like what, like 13 or 14. I can't remember if they say how old he is, but he's just like wandering around the town at night, and it's a suburb of like a really big city. You can kind of see the city off in the distance, but he doesn't like feel like he belongs anywhere. And then like he finds the arcade, but like I feel like so like there's like 6 or 7 different arcade games that you play through that just come up during the story, and they're very symbolic. But they're like old school games. They're all really well done. They're all fun.
Yeah, I love the way. I guess my biggest critique on it was that I wish there was more of the games. But yeah, the games that are in there are really cool.
Yeah, there was one that kind of frustrated me, but once I got the hang of it, like there was only one of them that I kind of got stuck on. Otherwise, all the games are pretty easy to get through. Some have like 2 or 3 levels. Some have a few more. Generally, either you'll get to the boss and then something will change, or you'll like beat the boss and then something will change. But it kind of plays out that way. And I guess maybe one reason I'm not as impressed by it as I would have been if I played it back then is like now I've played things like Arcade Paradise and all these other games where they've incorporated these full games within artificial universe or whatever. So that's kind of what this is. Even like if you've heard of UFO 50, like this could be sort of like like a fictional universe's version of like a slice of life, late 80s. I mean, it implies it's like late 80s.
You gotta, I mean, they gotta put that UFO 50 game on Switch.
But I agree. But yeah, there's like a Double Dragon-ish kind of level. There's like a Gradius kind of level. There's a really cool like run and slash. I don't know what you would call it. Maybe it's almost like an endless runner, but it had a very Ninja Gaiden feel to it. That was the one that I got stuck on the longest. There's totally like an Outrunner one, which is really like surreal how that ends up playing out.
Oh yeah, no, I love the racing stuff and the Streets of Rage beat 'em up. I think I'm watching it right now. I still think it looks awesome. Like just like the animation and this art design of it, I think it looks really cool. They should have made a whole game of that. I would have totally bought it.
My favorite was totally the last game, and I didn't think I was going to like it at first. And then once I like realized that there was a map, it's basically like an old school dungeon crawler, and you have to defeat 3 dragons. But what's cool is if you die, you like start over at the beginning of the dungeon, but you don't lose your progress. So you're like leveling up and stuff as you go. And as you like get stronger and stronger and start defeating more enemies, like there's this like computer talking to you, because I think you're supposed to be like trapped in a computer in this particular game. And the computer eventually is like, "Why are you doing this to me? No, stop." It starts out like threatening you that it's going to kill you. And by the end, it's like, "Help me, help me. He's trying to kill me." Like, it's kind of fucking crazy, but you do end up like fighting the computer at the end of it and stuff. So spoiler. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool game. It even says to be continued at the end.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot that it was to be continued, because I guess it never really happened. But
when it said to be continued, I was like, okay, so maybe this was episodic and this was like a release where everything was in it. And then the credits started rolling. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't know the last time I beat a game this quickly.
Yeah, I beat the whole thing in one sitting. I'm watching a playthrough of it. I think you can get through it in an hour. Like, probably.
Some of the like arcade games have some tough parts to them, but they're pretty forgiving for the most part. I would say that Ninja one's the hardest one. I don't know if you remember playing that one, but I think that's the hardest one, because it's all about like jumping between platforms, and there's a lot of instant death, and you always have to start back at the beginning of the level if you don't beat it. And it's not that fun, but by the end of it, you feel like awesome. But no, but the one where you have to like defeat the dragons, and it's like the old dungeon, and it's talking to you. That was definitely my favorite one. So like that was getting me really excited by that time, and then that's where the game ends, like after that level. So whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
it was worth $10.
It's $10. It's like I mean,
I wish the creator.
I played a lot. I paid a lot more for a movie that was that was just a little bit longer than that. So.
And I did go back and play through the racing one again, just because I liked that one so much, and I like didn't have the captions on before, so I didn't like get all the dialogue. I should call it monologue. There's literally no dialogue in this; it's all monologue. But no, it was cool. Like after you beat the game, you can go back to any of the little arcade games and play through them again if you want.
Yeah, I remember.
But as far as I know, they just lead you to the next chapter, so you don't like. It's not like you're getting to play the proper version of them, because a lot of them just end abruptly.
Yeah, well, it's kind of it's supposed to sort of be like in the story, right? Like so like right. you do the Streets of Rage stuff. It's supposed to be like you walk into the arcade, but you're fighting all these people.
Well, it's like after you get off the train and you're walking to your house from the train. That's the Rage thing.
But you're supposed to be traveling somewhere, right? Because
and then you're like
you in the sewer.
You're thinking about running away from home, and that's when the racing thing happens, and that's probably the coolest part of the game. Just as far as like the narrative meeting the gameplay, it was really cool. But other than that, I guess the big thing this week for me was that I watched Minecraft the movie.
Oh, this game was published by 8-4.
It was?
Yeah. From of 8-4 podcast fame.
I saw them in the credits.
One of my favorite podcasts. They must have done like Japanese translation of it or something, but
that's where I saw them. It was under the localization.
I'm sure they had whoever developed it on the show at one point. It was High-Bit Studios was who did it. I was like, I wondered if they ever did anything else.
I would love another one.
As far as Switch goes, this is the only game they have on here is 1980X. So it could have been, I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they were trying to do another one and they couldn't get funding for it, or I don't know.
There is another one that was suggested to me, that will go on I have to buy it. I'll probably get that one soon, just because the more I've been looking into it, the more I really want to get it. But I'm not going to say what it is. You have to listen to the episode to know.
Yeah, listen to the Patreon.
Yes.
For $1. You can.
I probably will talk about it in the future. But anyway. Ow, hey, cat. But yeah, I don't know if you heard me earlier. I watched Minecraft.
Yeah.
I saw the movie.
You saw it. Yeah, you used to put it on the Slack. Well, I mean, how good is it? Jason Momoa in a pink coat, amazing, or
how was it as
amazing?
An objective movie, and then how was it as a Minecraft fan?
Yeah.
Are you talking about adventure, or are you talking about survival mode, or creative mode? Because you got to think about this movie.
Oh yeah.
Ways. Does it have both of those in there? I don't know. I mean,
yeah, totally.
I thought it was. I mean, to me, I thought it was bizarre because Minecraft doesn't have a story, but I don't know. But I never played it as much as you did. I could never really get into it.
It has a very loose story, but it has a story technically.
Is
Legos
Alex in
didn't
there?
have a story, but they made a Lego movie, so
Yeah, I mean, they make movies about a lot of things.
right.
Doesn't mean it's good.
Well, anyway, they made a movie out of Minecraft. I'm surprised it took as long as it did. But I'm going to say, just objectively as a movie, it's like if you were going to eat a bag of potato chips. It's just it's a junk food movie. It's not boring enough to where you like lose your engagement, but it's also not interesting enough to where your like brain is firing in different ways. Like it just pulls you into Minecraft and you're hanging out with Jack Black in the world of Minecraft. And if you're cool with that, then you're going to like this movie because he's full on Jack Black. Now, also remember this is directed by Jared. Is his name Jared Hess? I can't remember his last name, but
Yep.
yeah, the guy who did Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. So he and Jack Black already have a really strong like rapport. And I would say like I didn't see any references to Napoleon in Nacho Libre. Correct me if I'm wrong if anyone knows, but this definitely references both movies like multiple times within it. So he's like referencing his own universe in little subtle ways. And then maybe the funniest part of it all is that it treats Idaho as though it's like kind of like its own country in a way. Like it's not that there aren't other states that exist, but when it talks about people going far away, they're going to like Boise and stuff like that, like within the real world part of it. In fact, they're like Boise's the fragrance capital of all of Idaho. And that's where like people are wearing like particular like fragrances to fit in at school or something. This movie's fucking weird.
Wasn't Napoleon Dynamite in Idaho?
Oh yeah, I think that's where he's from as well.
Yeah.
I would think probably.
It's very much like Idaho is like super duper shout out. In fact, at one point, Your Own Private Idaho by B-52s plays during a scene, which I thought was really cool too. But
I was like, isn't that a movie too?
The Gus Van Sant movie.
Or like a play or something?
Yeah. But so objectively, if you like Minecraft and you're hanging out with a kid who likes Minecraft, you're gonna like the movie together. If you're like me watching it, like also remember, like I guess I didn't say this, but I had to leave work because I was sick, which doesn't happen to me very often. But I had to like leave work early because I actually like got sick at work. I was really sick the other day, throwing up and stuff. And I watched Minecraft while I was laying on the couch, just feeling like awful. So it was kind of making me feel better because it's so lighthearted, So it probably got a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? Rose tinted goggles. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of watching it with that because mostly I was just astounded with how granular it was with understanding the Minecraft universe. Like there's a reason why kids like this because it's very, very accurate to the universe with the references it makes, with the way the different characters behave. And then like the whole premise of the real world part of it is just so silly. Like Minecraft makes more sense in this movie than the real world within the movie, if that makes sense. Like Jason Momoa's character is like a less hateable version of kind of like a Billy Mitchell. He's like
yeah.
He was the video game champion in 1989 at some place he went to, I think somewhere probably in Boise or whatever. And he has his own like video game and nostalgia shop in town. And like he dresses exactly like he dressed back in 1989 and he's still like
that's why he's got the pink coat.
Riding that high that he's just like the coolest person in the whole world, and he's got a couple arcades at his place, and one of them's the one that like he set the world record on. He just like plays that every day and very Billy Mitchell in that regard, but at the same time like his landlord is like, I'm going to evict you. You haven't paid rent for like this many months. And you realize this dude just completely broke. And so he's kind of an interesting character, kind of like an Uncle Rico, but Billy Mitchell version, I guess, like a washed up, good old days kind of guy.
But he's not like building a time machine or whatever.
Right.
Didn't he like try to build a time machine in
Yeah.
in Napoleon Dynamite? I remember that.
Yeah. But yeah, like the real world part of it is like very 90s movie or 80s movie. It's like these kids, both their parents died under mysterious circumstances or something, and then it's just them. She's raising him. She's like 19 or something, I think. And she goes and she gets a job in whatever, I can't remember what the town is, but it's in Idaho. And her little brother is like in junior high, and he's worried about fitting in and all that. And he's kind of the main character of the movie. And then Steve was sort of the dude that originally went to the Minecraft universe. Whatever. I don't need to explain much more about this movie. Just know that it's fairly accurate to a granular level, and I find that impressive.
So it's supposed to be kind of like because you see like the 4 or 5 main characters or whatever, like you see them all over the poster and like on the ads and stuff. Like, is it like they meet up online like through the Minecraft game is the idea, and then it represents them like within that world, or what?
So Jack Black's character Steve, who's the original Steve,
yeah, he like lives there, right, or whatever. But
everybody else,
he's
he's being held prisoner there, but
okay.
he's been living there long before that. He lived there willfully, and then he got captured by. So you've played enough to like when you go to the Nether and there's all those like pigs that run around. Those are the bad guys in this one. So there's like a queen pig.
Not the zombies.
No, it's like the queen pig that got just like. Whoever she is, she's like the head of all those pigs in the Nether, and she's trying to like take over not only the Minecraft world but the real world too.
No,
through the portals. So yeah, that's sort of the premise of the movie. It's very, very silly, very lighthearted, in spite of how the stakes seem high. And at one point, they all discover they can just make things whenever they want because they're in the Minecraft world and they're like generating structures and stuff. And it's very video gamey, and I actually fell asleep at the end of it. So I don't actually remember how it ends, but I fell asleep and then I woke up and the movie had started over again. But I didn't know it. I thought maybe it was like a post-credit scene because I didn't know how long I'd been asleep. And it was back at the beginning of the movie, but it was the Block Party edition.
Oh, what is that like?
I didn't watch much of it, but I guess it's that version that people were getting really annoyed that kids were like being too loud during the Minecraft movie because it was getting really memey and stuff, and they were like,
yeah, so it's like a sing-along edition kind of thing.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. So it's that version, and so it like has really big like big bubble letters that'll pop up when you're supposed to like say what they're saying on the screen and stuff.
So it's interactive. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
there's an interactive version on HBO Max. I didn't even know.
Yeah. And I didn't watch much of it because I said, I just woken up from a deep sleep and I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, did you yell? did you yell chicken jockey at the screen or whenever that part happened?
No, but I actually saw my niece and nephew earlier that evening. Or no, it was the day before. I had seen them and they were going to see it at like a drive-in movie thing that was for free. Some summer program somewhere for kids. And they came by our house just to say hi. And I was like, when you see that movie, don't ever say chicken jockey. And they just both started laughing. I was like, I don't, they haven't even seen the movie yet. And they're like laughing at this joke I just made.
Because they've heard it, around.
Right.
Probably.
So I don't know.
I've never seen it, and I know chicken jockey or people saying that line. So
right. So anyway, it's worth watching, I would say. Like, John, watch it with your nephew, or if he hasn't already seen it, maybe he'll want to watch it again.
He's trying to get me to watch it a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah. Did you say no? You're like, nah, no Minecraft for me.
Well, no, it was like I was there for like 20 minutes or something like that.
You had other things to do.
Yeah, I got other stuff to do. So I'd be happy to watch it with him sometime. But he keeps getting me to like want me to watch it like in bits and pieces. Like, we got 10 minutes.
Show his favorite
let's watch the Minecraft movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's probably really into it. Does he play Minecraft like on Switch or whatever? Okay.
Yeah, it's his favorite.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if kids were still playing that. I thought Fortnite had like taken over.
That's Mario for a lot of kids.
Yeah. Speaking of music for that movie though, Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo did the soundtrack. So hey,
he did, and like C24 or whoever the original person is, their music's in there too. It's a really well done movie. I don't know. I mean, I know it's a fucking corporate slop fest to the core, but it was done very well for a licensed movie. Like,
I mean, how does it compare to like
the premise is so thin,
like
that
a really shitty movie like Super Mario Brothers?
It's better than that.
Yeah,
it's better than Super Mario Bros. Movie, and it's better than maybe any video game movie I've seen besides that Dragon Quest movie that was really good.
Oh yeah. I mean, you haven't seen any of the Sonic movies, so you can't compare it to true.
I watched the
true
first
greatness.
Sonic movie.
Well, the first one.
Saw in theaters.
Sonic 3 was pretty
That
good.
one doesn't count. I'm talking about 2 and 3. Those are better. The
I
first
watched
one I
some-
don't really care about.
I watched some of 3, but I fell asleep.
Yeah.
It was on Twitter.
I
if you remember.
thought 3 was really good. It was definitely
I watched
my
like half of
favorite
it on Twitter.
out of all 3 of them. Was 3, but I thought 2 was solid. But 3 was good. I thought 3 was really good. It was great to watch on Twitter for free, as he said.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it again. I'll wait until. You know what I think I'll do? I think I'm going to be like, I want to play Minecraft, and I'll play it in handheld mode and put it on the TV or something. And I'll just like watch the movie again because it's really immersive in that regard. It could be.
Oh yeah. Or well, I don't have Minecraft. I was like, I could play
Yeah,
it.
you do.
I have
You
it
have
on
it on your Wii U.
I have it on Wii U. Yeah, I was like, I could play Minecraft on one TV and put the movie on the other TV, and then I'll play Dragon Quest Builders too. That's the Minecraft that I liked. I'll
Fair
play
enough.
that one instead. Yeah,
That's a wonderful game.
yeah, because it does run. It runs at 60 now on Switch. So I mean, well,
I
it
heard
did
that.
more
8.4
solidly.
said that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I played it myself and saw it, but yeah, no, it runs better.
My silly self beat it on PS5.
Well, I mean, you probably got it wasn't it free on there? Or no, you bought it on PS4 on the cheap or
Right.
something?
I still own it, but it's kind of already unsealed, but it's mostly sealed.
Yeah, I bought it for full price on Switch too, and I liked it a lot. I got stuck. I'm still don't know what to do. I tried playing it in 60 FPS. Didn't help me. Still don't know what the fuck to do. I'm still like in a tunnel and don't know where to go. So, I'm sure there's better guides out now for it or whatever. But anyway, yeah, Minecraft
Yeah,
movie.
that's
HBO
it for
Max.
me. Unless you have more Minecraft questions, because I'm willing to answer.
No, we should let John talk about your stuff. Like,
Okie dokie.
we'll be waiting for a long time. But no, I mean Minecraft, whatever.
I got 3 games this week. I got Wreckfest, which it's been on my list for a long time, and it went on sale for $16. It was originally $40, and man, I've been curious about this because like I like demolition derby games, and that's what this is. This is like the old game Destruction Derby, in which that has been a genre that has been dead for a long time, and this brings it back. I would say this is the best demolition derby game ever. I love it. This like absolutely, it's floored me. So it's an old game at this point. It's been on Switch since 2022. And actually Wreckfest 2 is out I think it's out in beta. I don't know if it's out officially, but it's on Steam and all that.
Uh-huh.
So they moved on, and it's got a big following and all that. But I'm now in that crowd. I love this game. This is really, really hooked me. In fact, steered me away from that other driving game that everybody else has been playing.
What-
Steered you away, huh?
I was
Yes.
like, what game? Mario Kart?
Yeah, that one. It's from the makers of Flatout. You guys remember the Flatout series? Going back to PS2.
Oh, yeah. No, I thought you were talking about a different one.
You remember
Yeah.
the game that was advertised? It was really well known for you could eject the guy through the windshield, and you could like splat him onto a giant target. Ring a bell? No.
No.
Well, so that was Flatout, and they made a couple of those games back in the PS2 era, and I think into the PS3 era.
I remember the name, but I thought it was a completely different thing. Yeah, there's 4 of them. There's 4 Flatout games going all the way up to 2017.
It's making you think of those like those motorcycle games where you could like do the best wreck and get points for it or whatever.
I don't remember those games, but yeah, that's the idea of this. The whole idea is destroy your car. There's different modes and stuff too. So there's like the Destruction Derby races where you have to obviously try and get first, but it's like an absolute like fight. You have to drive so aggressively. Like you have to drive aggressively through this pack of cars and force your way through, and you know, do so without actually destroying your car before the race is over. And then there's also like the destruction derby modes, which the whole point is just to smash into each other and get the most destruction, get the most knockouts. Yeah, I gotta tell you, like, this is one of my favorite racing games, just hands down. It feels great to play. It feels really distinct from other racing games, because the whole focus is on destruction. And there's like the way the weight of your car like shifts around, it just like makes you feel, the physics is so fine tuned, it just makes you feel like you're driving this absolute like hulking hunk of junk. Yeah, and everything about this game really sells that point. Like these cars, these are not Ferraris, these are not nice cars. These are like piece of shit cars that your uncle who knows his way around, the shop, fixed up for you, and you're gonna take it out on the weekend. You're gonna fuck it up. That's the whole. That's the whole attitude of this game, is just like destroy your car and have a great time doing it. And the crashes, like a game like that with that aim has to do crashing really, really well. Has to be something different about it, and like the crashes are so like realistic. It just feels to me like I haven't noticed any canned like animations for the crashes, or like some lesser games like years ago, there was this stage of destruction of the car, and then now you're at that stage of it was just like
cycling through models.
Yeah, same thing through models. Like this feels like they're actually doing physics on the different elements of the car to make realistic destruction.
It's got real-time damage.
Real-time damage, yeah. Which I mean, I'm not saying that's unique to this game. I think there's other games that do that, but this does it just so well. Because again, with that being the selling point, your eyes are on how cool does the destruction look, and the destruction looks really, really cool. The other half to that, the visuals is the audio. I think a lesser game might have neglected to pay attention to the audio. The audio design in this game is superb. This is like headphones on audio, because you can hear the difference between every little scratch and ding, and is it the squeal of the tires, or is it the scraping of metal on metal, or is the metal breaking? You hear like every little bit of it, and it all
I
is.
like you have crunch here, and that's like I think of that sound with like monster truck like shows and stuff that crunch.
That's exactly it. This is a crunchy sounding game, and it's just glorious. Like I got to put my headphones on every time I play this game, because it just makes it that big of a difference. And it also actually helps you with the gameplay too, because you can really hear like the cars that are around you. You can hear if somebody's shitty old engine is approaching, that there's someone's about to absolutely like screw you up from behind. So you got to get out of the way, and it helps the racing, it helps the gameplay.
So is this like is this like a laps based racer where there's battle added to it, or is it like a pure like battle mode type of game, or are there different modes, or how does that work?
There are multiple different modes.
Okay.
So you play through like a campaign, like as if you're like some guy who likes to do this kind of stuff, on the weekends or whatever. You rise up through the junior league, and so one challenge might be that you're racing, do your 6 laps or whatever. Another challenge might be, destruction derby, where you just have to smash into cars and survive. And then there's like an open range like stunt park, which I just tried for the first time today. It's like, here's a bunch of crazy contraptions that are absolutely going to destroy your car, and you have Tony Hawk style. You got 2 minutes, fuck your car up as much as you can. You get infinite respawns. Just like do the coolest tricks that you possibly can. Smash your car up and score.
Will your car eventually be like undrivable from damage? Like, is that a thing to keep it moving, or is it more like just the total damage is like a multiplier or something?
Your car will eventually be undrivable from damage, but you have a respawn button.
Okay.
And so if it's in the race mode, when your car is done, it's done and you're out of the race. But in destruction
F-Zero.
derby mode, like you can fuck your car up to the point where it's just like a smashed up tin can. It looks like it's been through one of those like giant car compressors that smashes cars to throw them away.
Yeah.
And it's just like barely toddling along at that point. You'll be like flat as a pancake, but still kind of toddling along. It's really funny. Yeah, so your car can get really, really destroyed.
I'm interested.
Yeah, for $16, I'd say this is originally a $40 game. This is so worth it. I would have been happy of getting this at $40. Kind of mad that I waited this long to get the game, but $16, I really, really like it. I'll say if you got an option to play, here's the other thing: this Switch port is really, really good. This is available on other platforms. Obviously, it's on PS5.
It probably is now that you're playing it on Switch too.
But here's the thing. So I looked it up. I
don't know how it was before,
years ago,
but it'll be better regardless.
I'm sure it's better now. I'm sure it's better now. But even the reactions from when the game came out years ago, Digital Foundry did a video on this, on the Switch port specifically, and how it compares, and they called it excellent.
No, okay.
So they praised it back when it came out on Switch 1. Yeah, really, really well done. So I'd say if you have to get it, if you only have the Switch or the Switch 2, full green light, go get this game. If you've got a PlayStation 5, I've seen video of the PS5 version and it looks amazing. So maybe you get it on that if you can, because this is a game that, it is about the audio visual experience. And if you can get it the best way you can, why not do that? It's $16. Full recommend. This is going to be in my permanent rotation. And I love this game.
Wow, that's
Great.
high praise.
Yep.
Permanent rotation.
Permanent rotation.
It's like you're going to have to permanently be rotating your tires if you're smashing them up that much.
That's it. That's what I'm going to have to do.
They rotate every time you drive, so you're all good.
That's true. I do a lot of rotating. The other game that I got, another game that I got this week is Goat Simulator 3.
I thought you had that one already. I guess not.
2.
Or there is no 2, right?
Yeah. I skipped from 1 straight to 3. Yeah, I'm the only one who did that.
That was another one I wanted to take off of your list because it was still there for some reason. Even it said it even said that you bought it, but it was still there.
Oh yeah, Goat Simulator 3, because I just bought that this week and I bought the bundle, so that's why it was still on my list. I noticed that too.
Oh, because they're two separate things. Because
I had both of them on my list. Yeah,
the new Switch eShop for Switch 2 at least will it'll automatically take it off once you bought it. You used to have to go through and do it yourself, but yeah, if there's different versions of it, then that wouldn't be on there.
Yeah, which the bundle includes the game, plus they call it a digital downgrade, which is funny. So you get like a bunch of the old costumes from the old game, plus you get the soundtrack to this game, and this is kind of cool, you get 3D printing files. I don't have a 3D printer, but if you want to make a 3D printed goat, you can get this.
That's really cool.
Oh wow.
This is probably like a Blender file or something.
Probably so, yeah. So this is more of the same. Essentially, it's bigger. It's definitely prettier looking, but it maintains the jank that the series is known for. So it's not like they've.
No, I did play 2. How does this compare?
You won't understand anything that's going on.
No, I know 2 doesn't exist.
Yeah, they pulled a Naked Gun 33 and a third on this one. Or was there a movie series that skipped number? No, I guess that's not an exact analogy.
I mean, there was a Naked Gun 2. I mean, there was 2.5.
There was never a Hot Shots 2. It was called Part D.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of us figured that out, that it was the second one, especially if you saw the first one.
Especially if you had a French-English dictionary.
So this game is already making me laugh. One of the big additions to the controls is now you can grind. So you just be running around as a goat and you jump on the power lines and you're just grinding along power lines with like metal sparks coming out and metal sounds. You can be all kinds of different animals. You can be like a fish or a giraffe or whatever. Much like the previous game, there's no story to it, but I think that's probably for the better if you want like a story in an open world game.
It's just like checklists, right?
Yeah, it's just checklists, that kind of thing. It's just fuck around, have fun. see what you can find. For instance, the other day, and I posted this video on our Slack. I was on top of a building, and I was like, "Oh, there's across the way. There's this other building that has these giant like fan blades spinning around." I was like, "Oh, let me jump down onto the fan blades and see what happens." So I jumped onto the fan blades and I actually landed on one. I was expecting to get blown up into the sky because these other smaller fans that will blow you up to the sky. I shouldn't have paused there. That sounded weird.
Blow you.
But so I landed on the fan blades, and then I'm just kind of spinning around on the fan blades, going really, really fast. And it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. All right. So I jumped off at an opportune moment. I got flung by the fan blade, and I landed, of all places, like in the middle of a presidential election, and I instantly triggered a challenge that said "run for president." So that's the kind of game that is. I jumped from off a building, onto a giant fan blade, got spun off and thrown into politics. So that
and then you became president.
If that's not a golden escalator, I don't know what is.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's a golden fan. Throw you into it.
I'm having a good time. I'm going to keep playing this game, and I can't wait to show my nephew because he loves Goat Simulator 1. So he's going to love this one too. And then the third game that I got, one more thing about the Goat Simulator, is that they put a parody of PT in there. So I go into this building and the old PlayStation 3 teaser for Silent Hill
4.
PT.
It's on PlayStation 4.
I don't know what this. I don't know what PT is.
It stands for playable trailer.
Okay.
It was done by Hideo Kojima and
Kojima, yeah.
And what was it? Was it
Del Toro?
Yeah, well, not what's his name?
Guillermo del Toro.
Is that his name?
Right. Yep.
Oh, I was confusing it with the other guy, Benicio del Toro. Yeah, yep. No, Guillermo del Toro. Yeah, it was this like horror. I never actually played it because you can't download it anymore, but I did have it. Or maybe I forget what it was on. Yeah, I thought it was on PS4.
I think it was on PS3. This is a long
Sounds like
time
a precursor to Death Stranding.
Because I had it. No, I had it on. I swear I had it on Play.
Because is it Benicio del Toro in Death Stranding?
No, Guillermo del Toro is in Death
Stranding. Oh, the other del Toro.
Yeah. We gotta get our del Toros straight.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, it was like a horror game that never came out. That was supposed to be a thing.
Was the trailer playable?
Yeah, it's in the title.
Yeah, it was a teaser. You were walking down a hallway, and like the hallway would change. You'd go to the end of the hallway and through the door, and the next hallway would be the same, but like one little thing would be different. And you did this like 30, 40 times, whatever, and things would escalate and get scarier and all that.
It was on PlayStation 4. I was right.
Oh, all right.
2014, PlayStation 4.
Wow, I don't know how I never knew about this.
It was free to download, but you can't download it anymore. But it was kind of one of those like Flappy Bird sort of things where people were selling PS4s that had PT on them because. And I actually do have, like, I downloaded because I think I like got on like Conan's like PlayStation like and created an account and downloaded it, and then when I finally got a PS4 or something, I couldn't get it because it wasn't available. But it's still like under my account that I did download it, but I never played it. So I did have it at one point. But now I can't. But now I can't access it. So
now it's downloadable again in Goat Simulator 3, so you can play it in that.
I was going to say like that's probably the only like way you can play it still without like whatever piracy.
I just thought it was funny that they this reference from something that a lot of people forgot from like 12, 13 years ago, whatever.
Oh, the people who played it definitely didn't forget about it because I still hear people talk about it all the time. They like just did an episode of Video Game Apocalypse about it not that long ago.
Sure. Another one we didn't forget about is Katana Zero. That's my game that I had to buy as a result of our episode.
There it is.
And I like it. It's really good. It's very stylish.
We knew you would.
Oh, yeah. I knew I would, too. It's just, one of those where I missed the boat when it came out. And, there's other exciting things that came out in the meantime, and I just got those instead. But I'm glad that you made me get this one. I see we always compare between this and my friend Pedro because they came out around the same time, and you guys got Katana Zero. I got my friend Pedro, and I think it's cool that now because of this episode that we did, we're getting each other's games. So it's different. I'll say it's different than Pedro. enough, but it's similar in a lot of ways. It's similar that you're like an assassin and you're playing a 2D game through playing a really like story based 2D action game. It has that in common. I think this one is a little bit more like I feel like it's a little bit like Celeste in a way. Like you got these bite sized levels, and it's all about how do I get through this one? How do I get through? I'm going to get these challenges, and how do I best get through these guys? And then it's on to the next level. It's a little bit more bite sized like that, whereas Pedro is a little bit more focused on like the acrobatics and doing flips and looking cool, and a little bit more about creating your way through. Whereas this is kind of like a little bit of puzzle game in a way.
It's definitely a puzzle game.
Yeah, but I also like that it's something that's totally unique about it is it's got this like branching dialogue system or branching action system where you can choose to do a different bit of dialogue or go a different way with your action, and then later on that will your choice will get referred to some point down the line. So I thought that's cool. I want to see where that goes. But yeah, I'm going to keep with it. I like this game a lot.
Very stylish, like you said. It's very
yeah, super stylish.
I want more.
Awesome soundtrack too.
You're getting more.
Someday. They keep hinting at it, but hopefully someday. Well, let's do our news, but we normally go through it pretty quick.
News. Don't snooze or you miss the news.
But
yeah, I'll make it pretty quick here.
I want to mention. There's some things I definitely want to mention before we go.
Well, Super Mario Strikers is coming out this week.
Yeah, so that was our
day or two.
So like pretty much like right after we did our episode last week where we were talking about like what was left for Nintendo releases and GameCube stuff. Pretty quickly, like maybe before even got the episode out, they were like Super Mario Strikers July 3rd coming out on Thursday, which means it'll be out like Wednesday night probably.
Maybe. I don't know. They don't necessarily do that the same way.
Well, they did it on the other one, and I don't see why they wouldn't do it on this one.
Well, we haven't had a new release yet.
No new GameCube release, I guess.
We just had it available. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I put money on it that it'll be out on Wednesday night.
We got WWE 2K25 coming out on the 23rd of July. So
yeah, that was just announced as of today, of July 1st. And they hinted that they were going to say something about it. And I watched the trailer. It's like less than a minute long, but it's on the Nintendo website also, and they've been promoting it through Twitter and whatnot. Nintendo of America has, so they're really pushing it. And I mean it looks great. It looks. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a WWE person, but you can create your own wrestler. You could make whoever you want and still play through it. And I have a 2K23 and 24, I think, for PS4, and I just played them a little bit. But this being on Switch too. I'll definitely have to try it out, I'm sure. Even though July is looking hella loaded between that and a lot of other games. So, and it's coming out for $70 too, which is kind of like, and there's different versions. There's like a $130 version. Like there's three different, there's the $70 one, and then there's two bundles, and there's one that's as high as $130. I saw it on the eShop. So yikes. So
there's like a story mode or something that's different about this game. Is that right? This time around,
there's a bunch of different modes. Actually, when I was playing,
there's like an island or something.
When I was playing 2K, about. Oh yeah, there is an interactive online island thing, but I think there's a lot of there's a lot of paid DLC stuff in there, or whatever shit that people don't like, microtransactions. Yeah, that sort of thing. So I don't know exactly how that works, but yeah, it has an online thing like that. But there's also there's different story modes. From what I played in 2K24, you can play historic matches and stuff, and try to you have to recreate the same moves and all that, which I thought that was really cool. But I didn't know how to play the game yet, so I didn't know how to do what it was asking me to do. So it's kind of I really like the idea of it. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that and they have different. There's an ambulance match where you got to lock them in the ambulance, and I think there's casket matches and all this other stuff that that we didn't unfortunately never saw for Fight Forever. But yeah, no, I'm really interested in it. And yeah, the creator wrestler is insane. I've seen people make some really, really detailed AEW wrestlers and all that, and make it look great. So I'll probably end up getting it just because of my love for wrestling games and all that. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. But we haven't had a 2K game since 2018, and that game was really bad when it came out. But apparently it runs now on Switch too. It kind of makes me want to try to track that down because it got removed from the eShop. You can't even get it digitally anymore. You'd have to get it physical if you want to play it. But yeah, that was like the big news for that. So cool.
Street Fighter 6 received a Year 3 character reveal trailer. You're gonna be getting those, right?
Yeah, no, I'll get them. I think the trailer was a while ago, but they announced who the characters were, but they showed a trailer of Sagat the first time.
Yeah.
So, because they reviewed the characters a while ago, and Kenny Omega, one of my favorite wrestlers from AEW, he actually did like a social media post of him dressed as all the DLC characters, which I thought was funny because some of them are ladies. But he put on all the clothes of all the DLC characters and was like, hey. But that was a while ago. But there was a trailer for Sagat, which
It's basically saying that Street Fighter 6 on the Switch 2 is just up to snuff with all the other ones now. It's just gonna get the same
it's getting the same. It's getting the same
season
guys.
updates and stuff. You're up to snuff now. You're not getting anything else for free.
And it's probably just as confusing to get them as it was on the PlayStation 4 and 5 version. Because it wasn't like go to the PlayStation shop and get your character from there. No. You have to buy like these weird fighter tokens or whatever, and they cost a certain amount. And it was a fucking headache. That's part of why I did never get any of the DLC characters because I couldn't figure out how to do it.
It almost seems like EA published this.
Yeah. Well, the same with we were having the hardest time finding out how to play multiplayer even because it's completely separate from your friends list. Like you have to look up their Capcom ID and add it like that, to play multiplayer. So it's its own thing, But yeah, no, regardless, I do want to play the new characters. And I always love playing as Sagat, so that's going to be fun to play as that guy.
I think it's interesting that Kenny Omega is advertising this. He's a pitch man for this game. But then, on his end, I wonder if he's, working those connections to try and get Capcom to do an AEW game since Fight Forever didn't really pan out.
Well, I thought you were going to give him shit because Kenny Omega was kind of the spokesperson for Fight Forever, but he kind of abandoned that also. So it was he was the guy up front for it, but it ended up being Evil Uno later, and Evil Uno never even got a character in the fucking game. I always felt so bad about that. Evil Uno was doing all these fucking promos for it, and he didn't even end up in the game. What the hell, man? Let him have a fucking guy in there. He had to make his own character. He had to create it. He had to create his own self in the game. And he's still wrestling with AEW. Yeah, no, it
would seem to me something of interest of Capcom. They've got they're the fighting game company, but they don't have really a wrestling game these days.
Sure, you got Zangief in there. He's a wrestler. He does a lot of wrestling moves.
Sure.
And there are grappler style characters, but
wasn't Sagat the original boss of Street Fighter?
Yeah, he was in Street Fighter 1.
Street Fighter 1, okay.
Yeah, and the scar across his chest was given to him by Ryu. If you watch the cartoon, the Superior cartoon movie, you see his chest get ripped open in the very beginning of it, in the first minute.
Damn.
So it's cool. And in later in the Street Fighter Alpha ones or whatever, Sagat's chest will glow, and he'll hold it and laugh whenever you play against Ryu or whatever. So they've definitely.
It's a hell of a wound.
Gone with it. But, Street Fighter 6 is the new, end of this, it's the most in the future of all the games. So we get to see how...
Or the Street Fighter 20X. Or
how Sagat looks now, looks older now, Because they kept saying Bison was dead, but then he showed up. So, it's the oldest version of the characters. So that's interesting. And you'll see some characters from... I think they're bringing the weird one with the tie, CJ or whatever her name was from 4. And Alex from 3 is in there also. I forget who else. But yeah, bring more. It's a great game.
We get another Fast Fusion update next week. We don't know what, but we know something's coming.
Yeah, I put that on there because I did play the update from last week. I did play the pure version, and it was cool.
How was it?
I think it still looks great. I didn't really notice that much of a difference, but I beat some more of the superhero levels, which are my favorite to do. Because the Fast RMX had Hero, and this is Superhero, but this is the one where it's more like F-Zero, where your boosts are your life, and if you run out of boost and you hit the wall, you explode, and you have to get first in each of the race. And instead of doing a Grand Prix, you do race by race, and it's really fun. And yeah, that game looks great still. So play it. I know you have it, Jeremy. Play it sometime. It's great.
I like what I played. I just I keep forgetting about it.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about this. Dear Me, I Was. Sounds like a weird name, but this is actually a new game.
Sounds like an indie film from 2002.
It's a new game made by the guy who did was it a Recode or Another Recollection, and most importantly, Hotel Dusk, like one of probably my favorite of those type of games. So that's awesome. Like I'm
coming soon. Summer.
That came from like an Arc System Direct or something like that. There was a bunch of stuff that came like from Arc System, and yeah, I mean, I never really, I played a little bit of like the demo of, and I have like Another Code or whatever it's called, but the 3DS or the DS one. But I loved Hotel Dusk. Like I thought that game was amazing, and there was a sequel that never came out here, and I always wish they would have released that stateside and give us a remaster like they did for the other one. But I'm intrigued because I really liked the hotel one. So,
and it's going to be a Switch 2 exclusive.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's kind of a weird. I mean, sure, why not? Hey, let's get some, right? Since aside from the Nintendo stuff.
I mean, Hades too, and Undertale.
Oh yeah, Hades. Yeah. I thought
System Shock 2 remaster got a date, which is in a couple of days, 1 week from today.
After getting like indefinitely postponed.
Yeah. Well, they said when they just postponed it, they said it'd be up in like a couple weeks. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like but
It'll
I mean, it's like,
10th.
but who knows if it'll actually do that? But yeah, System Shock 2 and Tony Hawk 3 and 4 and Superman the movie right back to back there. So there you go.
They're all the same movie when you think about it, because the song Superman's and Tony Hawk, and
sure,
if you like Rex, there's this shock to his system.
Yeah, or you could compare it to Troma, because it's our boy James Gunn's Superman. That's what I'm really excited about, Mr. Terraformer right there making Superman. So I'm
Speaking
pumped.
of Terraformer, Donkey Kong Bonanza, destroying the land, coming up soon. Nintendo has confirmed that it is made by the Odyssey team.
Oh, definitely good that we're mentioning this. Yes.
Yeah.
So we were right. We were the first people to say this, I think.
Yeah. I mean, everybody saw that, but now they officially confirmed it. Also, there's a ton of previews out now, so beware on what you see, because I'm trying to stay away from it, because I did already see a couple things that I wish I wouldn't have seen. So there's gonna be spoilers out there. So be careful.
Yeah,
be careful.
be
careful what you're looking at. Yeah. Because I already saw some things where I was like, man, I wish I would have found that out later. So
I have seen more people have been posting that it's like Wreck-It Ralph, including Jeremy Parrish posted something like 2 days ago about it and got like a bunch of likes on Blue Sky. And I'm like, I said that like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, we already said that.
Put out the first commercial for it today, and I noticed a little Easter egg in there. First sight when I saw it, within the first 10 seconds of the trailer, the actor puts in the Switch 2, turns it on, and in the corner of the Switch 2, the power level is 64%. So that's Nintendo on the slide telling us that this is for all those who liked Donkey Kong 64. We're getting this new 3D platformer. Donkey
Isn't it
Kong
also
game.
kind of like pointing out the battery life's bad because it's been on the charger for a
That's
while?
true. Yeah,
64%.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I watched it. I watched that trailer too, and you watched it on your TV, probably, right?
I did.
Yeah, because I was like, I cannot see that at all.
Yeah. I watched it on my TV.
I watched it on my
That's
phone,
what
and
it
I was
says.
like, I can't read any of that. I was
I
like,
haven't watched it
like,
yet.
did you zoom it or something?
I have gotten to the point where I'm not wanting to watch much about it other than
It's in like the first couple seconds. Of
I don't want any.
the 64
If
thing
someone
is.
says this is a piece of trash, then maybe I'll look and see why they think it is. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's just going to be a nice, fun, lighthearted game. I don't think it's going to be. It'll be a game of the year contender, but will it be like one of the best games on Switch? Probably not. Switch 2,
I don't know.
I think it's likely to be one of the best. I have read a preview or two, and they seem to be saying like Gizmodo says this is the Switch 2 launch game you've been waiting for. I think it's going to be as good as Mario Odyssey was, and maybe even more, maybe even better, just because this is a Donkey Kong game, and we weren't expecting this, and things that are good, but that are also a surprise. seem even better because of their
Maybe.
surprise.
I did watch IGN's preview. They did like an 8-minute preview or whatever, and the guy who was doing it did say some things that made me more positive, thinking about it more positively, because he did compare it to Mario Odyssey, but he did say that's more like the Marios that I like better, more like
Galaxy
more like
and
64
Sunshine.
and Galaxy and Sunshine, because Odyssey was kind of a letdown to me just because of how the moons didn't really mean anything, like
There's a lot of
didn't.
moods.
I mean,
Once you could just buy the moons, it didn't matter.
well, you could buy them all, and you could find them under. You could find them under the ground while you're just walking around. Like in the original Mario 64, like every star was an event. Like that was its own level.
Like
and
you
all
have to
the-
actually leave the level.
Yeah, which I understand. Like some people might have found that annoying, but now they make it. You can just get moons everywhere, and I couldn't remember a single moon from that game aside from fighting those really creepy.
I'm sure if I
bunnies.
played it again, I would find the moons.
I mean, I'm just saying that it wasn't like this moon was like this cool event that I did. It was like
Right.
this
You don't
event I
remember,
found like
a
10
specific
moons.
moon. Exactly.
It's not. It wasn't. It didn't seem as important
Like, you're not
as
thinking
everything
like
else was.
Mario
Yeah.
64, where I shoot at the corner of that thing in the Swamp Fortress or whatever it was called. Like you shoot at the corner.
Yeah, in the second
Break
in the second level. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's
Yeah.
something I remember. And I don't remember anything special about Odyssey except for the Paulina thing and then all the New York City stuff, which was weird.
Yeah. I mean, it had like it had moments,
And the T-Rex.
but the moons, getting the moons in themselves, aside from like the extra hard one at the end or something, they didn't really stick out as they did in the previous games, because it was more of a, now it's just kind of like you just find a bunch in one round, and it's like, okay, well, I got that.
I have a feeling the
forgot about
bananas
it.
are going to be the same way in this.
Well,
Maybe you can't buy them, but I think they're going to be everywhere because you can just destroy everything.
it's just the way he was talking about it. It seemed like more contained, like more. It felt more like those earlier Mario games than Odyssey, and I like that. So I'm more into that than where it's like each section is smaller, but it's more focused and it's more memorable because of that. Instead of you just
I would hope to get
finding 20 things in one run,
I would hope to get at least 40 or 50 hours out of it, to complete it, to get everything. That's my
That sounds
hope.
about right.
That's my hope. I think Odyssey definitely. I never got everything, but I definitely put that time into it.
Yeah. But Odyssey,
Every time I go,
you can
every
just
time I
buy
go back
everything.
to, every time I go back to Odyssey, though, like it's fun, but it's just like, I don't know. It seems like almost generic.
Yeah, it's not a standout. Kind of like we were saying about Wonder. Like the other 3D Mario games that came just before it, Galaxy, those were standouts. Those were different. Something was
Oh yeah,
really,
the
really different
Galaxy
about them.
games are so cool.
I mean, Odyssey.
Even Bowser's Inside, or not Bowser's Inside Story. Even like Bowser's Fury, like I thought was cooler than.
That was another standout. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
very different.
Bowser's Fury was really, really good because if we got a new 3D Mario, I would rather have it be like that than Odyssey. I'd rather have it be
Same.
like Bowser's Fury than Odyssey because Fury was much more was much cooler, and that was only like 10 hours, but I like that so much better than Odyssey. Between the two of them, so yeah.
Well, we know what we're not going to like is that Drag X Drive appears not to support local multiplayer. This is a little confusing to me.
Oh, really?
Like,
I couldn't understand what you were saying because in the Slack it just showed up as your comment, but it didn't have the link.
I don't know why
so
it
I
wouldn't
didn't-
work if you.
so I didn't
if
know
you
what it was
connect
about.
4 Joy-Cons.
But
say it again, Jeremy.
If you could connect 4 Joy-Cons, then I don't know why it wouldn't work.
oh, you mean
Yeah,
like
I
they don't want to do split screen? Well, I mean, keep in mind, Splatoon never had local multiplayer either. And how
So
many
you-
games of those
so-
do we have? Never
so
had
probably-
local multiplayer. Still
It's
doesn't.
probably more of a marketing decision than like a software decision.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't see this game being as deep as Splatoon, though. So I didn't mind there being no multiplayer.
Yeah.
Local
I mean, there is. I mean, there'd be. I figured they just want it to be all online, and maybe they don't want to. Maybe they don't want to worry
keep it
about
civil.
people having 4 Joy-Cons or something like that. Like it's probably. Maybe they don't expect that people would have that many
I'm extremely
controllers or
skeptical
something.
about
I don't know.
the control methods of this game being something that people like.
Yeah, most
I don't
people
know.
don't seem to not like it, but
Like some people will like it, but not very many.
Yeah, I mean, but with the, I don't know, at the $20 price point, I'm willing to try it.
I can take bet on it. Yep. How about this is kind of cool. Game Builder Garage. Somebody made a direct of Game Builder Garage
Oh,
games.
did you watch that?
I tried watching it. I got about halfway through, and then it turned to all Japanese, and I'm like, wait, what?
Oh yeah, no, I thought that was cool actually because
Yeah.
they wanted to make it like international. No, I watched like the whole thing and I was like, this is a really good commercial for Game Builder Garage. It actually
Why
kind of
didn't Nintendo do this? Yeah.
kind of made
Yeah.
me want to buy it, and I thought it was done really well. And I actually liked the
Yeah.
language change because they said like,
I
you
bet
know-
everybody who still plays the game was in that video.
well, they wanted to be like they were like, oh well, we want to make this like international so anybody can watch it. So here's our Japanese stuff, but the Japanese stuff was really interesting. Like they had like a Dragon Quest game like with sprites from like one of the Dragon Quest games, and I was like, oh wow, okay. Like some of the stuff was really pretty impressive, and they had like a QR code on there for you to scan so you could get the games on your Game Builder Garage and all that stuff, and
That makes me want to give it a shot.
it was cool to see like. It just had so much love for what for what people are made in there, and there were some like pretty wild games in there that I was like, "Oh, you can do that?" Like, yeah, I don't know. It's there's some pretty out there stuff.
How about we skip ahead to the Street Fighter movie news? This is pretty crazy. They announced a bunch of casting for the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah, we haven't really mentioned the new one yet, but yeah, the casting's kind of out there. But speaking of what I was saying earlier about Kenny Omega and all of his outfits of the Street Fighter stuff, can we get Kenny Omega in there in some way?
Sure.
And we do already have a WWE wrestler in
I
there.
mean, his
so
name is Ken, right?
so maybe they don't.
he could be Ken.
Mhm.
Well, Ken's already been cast. No, I mean we already have a WWE guy in there. Maybe they don't want to cross over with AEW, but Kenny Omega is a
Oh, you mean they don't want to fight?
is
The
a
two fight? They don't want the two competing organizations to fight. Like, come on.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard rumors of Cody Rhodes being Guile or whatever, which sure, but I would like to see some AEW wrestlers in there. Like have Samoa Joe come in and play E Honda. That'd be fun.
Let's say who did get cast. So we got 50 Cent is going to play.
Balrog.
What's his name? Balrog. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Balrog or M Bison if you're watching the Japanese version.
Yeah. Mr. Minecraft, Jason Momoa is going to play Blanca. Sure.
That's kind of amazing. Or Jimmy if you know the backstory. That's his real name.
All right, just dye his hair orange and paint him up green. Sure.
I just hope
I
they
don't-
do the whole Jimmy story and all that, and we have where his mom like finds him or whatnot, or he's like where he like falls out of a plane and gets raised by jungle animals or whatever.
Roman Reigns as Akuma, and then Kalina Lianga as Chun-Li. I don't know who she is. Is she a wrestler too?
I don't know who she is either. I mean, I think
Oh.
she's an actor.
Reacher star Alan Richson as Guile. I can see that. Yep.
Oh wait, hold on. I thought they said Cody was going to be Guile.
No, this is from according to Kotaku.
No, because I just saw just like 2 seconds ago. Cody is. Oh, who would Cody play then?
Asian Cody Banks.
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw that he was rumored to play. Yeah, right here. Posted 10 hours ago. Cody Rhodes in talks to play Guile in Street Fighter.
All right. Well, I guess that role is not cast yet. And yeah, two other guys. Who I don't know.
I thought the Reacher guy was supposed to be somebody else. Does it say Guile on here? I mean, you're reading it,
Yep.
so
I'm beguiled by this whole thing.
yeah.
David Desmalchian is playing M. Bison.
Desmalchin
Yep.
is how you pronounce it.
It's called.
Sure.
It's pronounced Dalstamation.
It's like you're saying like the small chin, but with a D. I actually met this guy in Chicago. He was in he was in The Dark Knight when he first blew up. But I ran into him at a little bar on Belmont called the Hungry Brain at like a movie premiere that some short that we did was there, and he was just there, and I was like, oh hey, you're the fucking guy from The Dark Knight. I'm kind of drunk, so let's hang out. So I hung out and had drinks with him, and we ended up taking a cab to the Whistler and hanging out like on a Saturday
Nice.
night or something like that. So I actually had drinks with this guy like one night, but then I've heard him on Kevin Smith's podcast a bunch of times, and not to mention he's been in a bunch of movies. He was in like the Ant-Man movies, and
Yeah.
he was in like he's been in a lot of like comic stuff. He was in the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie. He was in like the Flash TV show. Like I've seen this guy all over the place, and I like him a lot. He was in the Late Night with the Devil movie, which is really good too.
Yeah.
And so
It's
I
cool
mean,
you got to hang out with him.
so yeah,
I was there
good for
with you when you hung out. I was there with you when you hung out with him that night, and you won't remember this because you were drunk. But you said,
no, you were not there.
You said to him, you know who you should play is M. Bison. You got to go after that M. Bison role. So this is all you. Congratulations, Trey.
Yeah. No, I thought he might have gone home.
See,
with
I was also
with a friend
there.
of mine, but I don't remember.
You don't remember this. I was there, and this guy doesn't talk to me anymore because the first thing I said to him was like, "How's it feel being one of 101?" And he's like, "Get out of here!" And they actually kicked me out of the bar.
But yeah, no, I did meet him once in
Then
Chicago.
he bought the rights
cool.
to 101 David Desmalchins to make sure that movie never got made.
Desmalchin. Desmalchin is how you say it. No, he was cool, and he's got a comic book too, and yeah, he's doing a lot of shit. I've been following his career since we had that wonderful, unforgettable night at the Hungry Brain and Whistler together. I'm sure he just remembers it so fondly of me buying him, getting him a cab ride to the Whistler. Or whatever.
It's probably in his memoirs.
Yeah. But no, he seems really cool. Like I said, I've heard him on the Kevin Smith podcast many times, so I'm happy. I think he could play anything. So sure, you could be on Bison. Go for it.
Sure.
Let's end it on
Back 2 seconds, forward and punch.
You can psycho crush your way through that role.
How about okay? Should we end it on? We got 3 downers and then one kind of All right, so we'll go quick through these. All right, number 1, Nintendo announces that's going to increase the Switch 1 pricing in Canada.
Not a surprise.
Not a surprise. It may be coming for us too at some point.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yep, for the Switch 1.
Canada especially. Oh,
Yep.
Just the Switch 1?
Just the Switch 1. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't want to mess with the Switch 2.
Interesting.
Did you say?
Okay.
You said the people for? You already
This
said
does
Ken
seem
and,
strategic.
You said Ken and Ryu, right? Or no? This says rumored for them, I guess, on IMDb. There was some shitty. There was like some shitty comedian that was like anti-woke or whatever that was rumored to be cast as Dan, which I mean.
Rob Schneider.
No, not him. I'd say don't cast him in anything. He sucks. It was some other guy, but I don't know. But yeah, I mean Dan sucks. So put an actor that sucks in there too. I guess I don't know how much this.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt's gonna play. I don't know what he'll play.
Mario.
He'll play.
He's playing God in the new Ten Commandments.
He's playing Dulcim. And it'll be like, yeah, I remember when I was a kid and I used to crunch those M. Bisons back when I was in grade school. Or something like that.
Nice. We finally know what the Nintendo Amazon beef was about. Did you guys see this earlier today?
I didn't know what the beef was about. I thought
Nintendo was mad.
I thought it was tariff based.
Maybe I played into it. Nintendo was mad that Amazon was allowing third-party sellers to offer games lower than the advertised rates.
Really?
Yep.
How does that even work?
I don't know. But this is
how do the sellers make any money off of that?
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
That's weird.
I mean, Costco sells their games for less than the advertised rates, but I think Costco maybe.
Do you think maybe it's because all those Switches got stolen?
Maybe so.
I mean, what was it? I mean, Walmart does that too. I mean, I never really understood how they did that, but they sold pretty much all their Switch games for $10 less than everybody else.
It's like a loss leader or whatever they call it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Nintendo just didn't like, if you're dealing with Costco, which is one giant corporation, dealing with Walmart, same thing. Maybe it's a little bit different than dealing with letting these like little guys sell through Amazon.
Right.
I don't know.
So it's like they're skipping legitimacy by just doing third-party selling through Amazon. I guess I get that. Maybe there's more opportunity for bootlegging or whatever.
Yep. Here's something that might help somebody out there who might be wondering what's up with their Joy-Con on Switch 2. If your Switch 2 Joy-Con keeps disconnecting, your HDMI cord could be the culprit. If you're not using the proper HDMI cord that came with your Switch 2, if you're using an older one that is not the, what is it, like the 2.1 or something HDMI, yeah, it can screw up your Joy-Con connectivity. So yeah, get yourself a real legit HDMI cord.
But don't
Maybe you just
don't,
use the one that came with your Switch.
Yeah, don't go out buying the Nintendo one, because I've used mine with a whole bunch of different HDMI cords, and there's no problem. I mean, the first time I ever found out about HDR was by not Nintendo's HDMI. It was by a generic Amazon one that I had. So, I mean, this seems kind of silly. It seems like trying to get people to buy the official Nintendo HDMI, which I don't understand how that would make your Joy-Con disconnect. It sounds kind of fishy.
I think
to
it's
me.
less about the official Nintendo HDMI, more about the
Proper,
it being the
yes.
proper one. Yes, the proper like data transfer.
whatever it was, 2.1 or something. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. It sounds maybe it's a janky one.
HDMI has been a thing for a long ass time. There's been a lot of like iterations of it, and most people don't even care. But
It doesn't.
different
Yeah,
cords do matter.
it really. Yeah, I mean, as far as what I've done with it, all of my HDMI's work fine.
Yeah,
and I've used every
Same.
one that I have. Well, not every one, because I have a lot here.
I do specifically
But
have the
I'll-
Switch 2 hooked up with the one it came with. So
Yeah. But I've used mine with like 4 other cables in all the different places that I have TVs.
my
at.
Switch 1, I didn't give a shit. I use
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, but I'm using the same cables that I use for my Switch 1 with the Switch 2 as we speak.
All right, let's
And
end it
it's
on
been
this
fine.
one. This is a weird one. Nintendo's in the credits for Death Stranding 2. Yes, PS5 exclusive Death Stranding 2 has Nintendo in the credits.
Yeah, it's because of their animation studio, right? There was
That's
was
correct.
credit in there. Yeah, the Nintendo
That's
Pictures.
correct.
Yeah, I
Is
saw
it because
that.
of why?
So here's how it shakes out. All right, so this is according to IGN. I'll read from the article. PS5 owners who have already completed Death Stranding 2 on the beach report a surprising inclusion within the Sony published games credits. It's Nintendo. Specifically, the company listed within the credits is Nintendo Pictures, the Mario Maker's motion capture studio that it bought and rebranded in 2022. This is the first time that Nintendo Pictures has been credited as having contributed to a non-Nintendo game since it was acquired. Though, as VGC reports, there may be a good reason as to why. Death Stranding 2 development was underway in 2022, around the time that Nintendo snapped up the company, which was previously known as Dynamo Pictures. It seems probable then that Nintendo Pictures, or rather Dynamo Pictures, was simply signed onto the project before Nintendo's purchase and continued work per its contract.
Oh. I thought it was because of the Yoshi bobblehead in what's it called?
In
Twin
Metal Gear
Snakes.
Solid Twin Snakes.
It was because of the whole carrying a baby.
Is there a reference to Metal Gear
mechanic.
Solid Twin Snakes and Death Stranding 2? That'd be wild. If you just
No, this is interesting though, because I do remember like it wasn't long after the Mario movie. When did the Mario movie come out? Was it 2023?
Yep.
yeah, a couple of years ago, right?
So 2022 would have been like we already knew it was coming, but then Nintendo bought up this company so they would have their own in-house like motion picture development, like their own Pixar essentially. So yeah, this kind of makes sense. It was like they bought up something that already had a contract that needed to be fulfilled, and so they fulfilled it. That's cool. I mean, that's business, baby.
Yeah. Death Stranding 2 brought to you by Nintendo.
Death Stranding Switch 2.
I don't know if they want to put their name on those games.
It's there.
I don't know. I hear Death Stranding 2 is pretty good.
I don't know. I thought they both look like trash.
The first one's not so great.
If you want really good graphics of you delivering shit to people, then
Just
there you
look
go.
at an Amazon driver's delivery cam.
But having a hard time walking or whatever. But it's another Stranding type game, so I'm glad we have more of those of the Stranding genre.
Should we have ever connected? That's sort of the idea.
Now there's 2. There was 1, and now there's 2 of them. So I'm glad we have a lot more to populate the Strand type games. But before we go, there's a Bandai Namco thing happening tomorrow. So everybody cross their fingers so we can see Tekken 8 on Switch 2.
New
Dino
Katamari
Wars
coming.
2.
That's why I wore my AEW Tekken 8 shirt today. So I could
Did you say Katamari?
New Katamari.
call on
That's what I'm
the
saying.
call
That
on the
would be
powers
cool.
to bring Tekken 8 just like they did Tekken Tag Tournament, and you can wear Mario overalls like you could on Wii U. That's what I want. Just do that.
Tech U.
Because that game looks awesome with all the
Po-
DLC.
Pokken Part 6.
Yeah, Yeah, I remember that game. I mean, it sold a lot. It sold a lot on Switch and Wii. Well, mostly the Switch, but Wii U.
Mostly on
People
Switch
had
U.
it. You know, they got it. I played it on
Switch
Wii U.
U.
But yeah, anyway, that's it. That's our episode for 478. And if you like listening to us and you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast. And Jess actually recommended a thing, or made a mention of something we should do, and I'm going to say it anyway. Anybody who starts a patron now, we'll give you a segment on the show. You can come on and talk about whatever you want for a certain amount of time. So
Not whatever you want. We will field it. But
we'll within reason. If it's about like slaughtering babies or something like that, we'll
yes.
but it
we
has
do
to
reserve
be,
the right.
has to be video game related. But no, Jess was saying that. Just say like you get a segment, or people who already have $1 subscription. If you move it up to $5 or whatever, we give you an extra part on the show or whatever. You know, if you end up donating to us, we will let you be on the show
IRL.
for sure. So, which I think a lot of our patrons have been on the show before, but you know, I'm just reaching out to any of you who are not patrons yet. Do it, and then you can show up on the show and all that.
Then you can be on the show, and like you'll have a new way to fall asleep at night by talking to us,
by listening to us in real time, not just.
Don't use your soapbox moment to just fall asleep on the Zoom call.
Not just.
Hey, you're allowed. You can do whatever you want.
Not just on your headphones. You know, you could see us. Well, also on your headphones, but whatever. But yeah.
Also, can you help me do my taxes?
Also, if you want to see all those games I was talking about running 60 FPS on Switch, I put them all on YouTube at youtube.com/NintenDomain podcast. You can watch all the stuff I talked about. Darksiders 3, 13, Fortnite. It's all on there. You can find it for free on the YouTube channel. It's all there. Including, actually, I got some decent traffic for the XIII secret boss, so that was cool. I guess not a whole lot of people were posting how XIII ran on Switch too, so cool. But yeah, you can check all that out there, and you can find us on Blue Sky at Domain and at Trey Johnson and at NintenDomain and all of that. And yeah, and we've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jerry Mikowski.
John Itter.
And thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time.
See ya next time.
But I mean, if anyone doesn't know, well, this is only patrons here, but a Twinkie Wiener sandwich is a Twinkie cut like a bun with a hot dog in it with cheese easy cheese on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Twinkie Wiener sandwich.
Do you do something with the cream, or do you put the cream on top of the hot dog, or what do you do?
Well, the cream's inside the Twinkie.
No,
so
you
carved it out like a bun. So what do you do?
Well,
with
you
the
just
cream?
make a slice in it.
No. You don't do anything with cream. You guys have seen UHF. He does it
No,
real time in the movie.
You just cut a slice in it, and it splits open. You put the hot dog in it.
Exactly.
And
then you put the easy cheese on top of it.
The easy cheese, like spray cheese.
You cut it like a bun, put a hot dog in it. Easy
the
cheese,
cream of the
done.
Twinkie stays in it because it's inside of the bun that you
Yes. Yeah, you're not pulling the cream out. If you had seen UHF, you would know about this.
Yeah, you should see the movie before you start saying stuff about the Twinkie cream.
That's true. I should.
Have you not seen UHF?
I've not seen it in full, and I've seen it in bits and pieces on Comedy Central.
Oh my
Fran
god!
Drescher.
What the fuck?
Michael
What the fuck
Richards.
is wrong with you? How are you
know.
like?
Weird Al.
How are you like alive still?
I know.
You haven't seen one of the greatest movies of all time.
Fran Drescher is banging in that movie.
And you know who else is in that movie? Billy Barty, my favorite.
That's true.
My favorite short actor, a little person actor. No, I love Billy Barty. He was also in Bride of Frankenstein, another one of my favorite movies of all time, in a deleted scene, but you can still see him from the back in that movie. But no, that movie's badass.